Greetings, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome those joining us here as the football cruise gathers itself and they get themselves together. I know Daniel's going to be here at about halftime. He's a serious Chelsea fan, and this actually means things to him that it doesn't mean maybe to some of us. We're Liverpool fans, if anything, in this house, right? Uh, Mutanda's on his way. I'm not sure if I think Robert's joining us. But are there fans of either team in this space yet? Are folks filing in from that sort of alternative world? No, the politically alternative, the alternative political world of millennials are killing capitalism. They had a great conversation with Kali Akuno this morning over on Black Liberation Media. Ear Doctor popped up for an early mix, which was dope. Peace. Okay, Maggie L wants Arsenal. All right, all right. Liverpool 10 points clear after today. No doubt. Man City losing a fourth in a row was kind of That was kind of dope for me. For sure. Right on. I just like a good match. Same thing. Same thing. Oh, Robert. What's up, Robert? Welcome,
Hey
welcome.
man,
What's going on?
I'm just looking at it. It just started.
Yep. I figured I would get on the field if when I saw the players get on the field. So let me get
Right.
hold on. Did they start? Let me because I got the I'm gonna run the clock with them. Did they start the clock? Yeah, there it goes. All right, let's get it. Do you mind? Can you turn yours down a little bit? Are you able to watch it or watch it?
I can watch it without sound if
Uh,
that's what you mean.
that'd be even better, really. Just, uh, just so we can all. But are you a fan of either of these teams?
Not really. Um, I can't say I am. No, I'm not a big. I don't think I don't have a club in the UK that I support or cheer for. Uh, unlike Brazil, where I'm like
Deeply in
deeply into it. You
yeah.
know, but
All right,
it's always good to see a good game. Actually,
definitely.
both of these teams are owned by Americans.
Now that's interesting. So because I know that they're playing at Emirates Stadium, so this is not a UAE team anymore. Own team Arsenal.
No, Arsenal has been owned by an
Mm,
American for well over a decade.
really?
Yeah. Yeah, they're playing at Chelsea. They're not playing at Arsenal.
Oh, I misread the whole thing then. Okay,
Yeah,
I got the wrong background and
Chelsea's
everything.
owned by a relatively new group that bought Roman Abramovich's shares. I think they've been there for, I guess maybe this is their second or third
Oh
season.
yeah, Stan Kroenke. Okay,
Yeah,
the
Stan Kroenke
American
is the owner.
billionaire.
Yeah, Stan
Yeah,
Kroenke is the owner of Arsenal.
and also the Denver Nuggets, Colorado Avalanche, and the LA Rams.
Exactly.
Mm.
And the other guy that owns Chelsea is as far as I remember, he's either a hedge fund or a private equity owner, private equity investor.
Okay, so that's Kroenke. So I heard Mutanda show up. What's up? Mutanda's in the building. Greetings.
What's going on, gentlemen?
Oh. That was a nice shot. Palmer.
What's how much time do you have on the clock you're looking at?
I'm at 240.
Okay, so I'm at 317, 318. So I'm ahead of
Oh,
you.
really?
Yeah.
Are we live? Am I
It's both live. It's just my feed is ahead of your feed.
are you on the same time with it? Where are you?
What do you mean?
I'm talking to my daughters and is watching also.
Oh,
So she's a little ahead of us too. So I might be, but my
yeah.
my
I'm
my
I'm at 340 right now.
so you're almost a full 40 seconds ahead.
Yep.
And I can't catch up to that.
No, you can't catch up. That's just based on the feed you're getting.
Where are you?
Right now I'm at 326.
326. Yeah, that's where I am.
So she's like, I'm 30 seconds ahead of you guys.
All right. And where are you, Mutanda?
350 right now. 351, 352.
All right.
So
So I'm gonna be the last one to see everything.
I'm 20 seconds ahead of Mutanda and 30 seconds ahead of you.
All right. So I'm gonna be the last one to know everything. That's all right.
Well, that's okay. I won't tell you anything. I'll just let you arrive.
And then Daniel said he can't show up before halftime because this is just too meaningful for him. I'm not mad at that though. I get it.
I
get it.
told you it's a matter of principle. You gotta let people. You can't force people to watch their teams in public.
No, I did try to pressure him. I've tried to peer pressure him a little bit, but I'm respectful of the fact. I remember what it was like to actually care about these things in a kind of crazy way.
Right.
I mean, for a while, I was an irrational American football fan. I mean, irrational.
American football.
American, North American, U.S.
For what team?
The Washington football team. I was raised. I was deeply in it, like irrational. It was up until maybe 10 years ago. I even had a piece of the field, the original RFK field, that I kept when they tore it up. Like I was.
You had it bad, huh?
Yeah, it was bad. And then over time, between my radicalization, their declining both performance and more overt racism and abuse of players and personnel, it just became just an easy break. And then I made my full break with the league with Colin Kaepernick. So I don't think I've watched what would equate to one full game since Kaepernick took his knee. But the more I pay attention to world football, like that was just denial on my part, because it's just as bad.
I'm sure we'll get into it, right? This is the first time we've done a watch along, but the contradictions are deep for all of us, and we have to acknowledge them. And it's also like, and at the same time, not to sound like too wishy-washy or hypocritical, but it's like it's human expression. There's sometimes politics that we agree with, but overall, it's a mess. It's awful. And I can't, listen, I wouldn't call myself a fan in that sense. I'm definitely not like a soccer hooligan or anything like that. And I'm a little bit different than all you in the sense that this is also my profession, my career. Like I'm on the field, like I'm kind of invested in terms of that. And at the same time, I acknowledge, for example, that the team that I enjoy watching, or at least that I've enjoyed watching over the past few years, and a coach that I consider to be not like a beacon of light or anything like that, but as somebody that I admire in terms of his work, Pep Guardiola, Man City. I mean, these owners and what they're doing in the world is awful. Right. I have to acknowledge that. I have to, and maybe do more than acknowledge that. That's not enough. But I just, I throw that out there just to echo what you're saying, Jared, and that this is all. So I actually don't care that much. Like I don't get riled up. But when I do, I try to divorce it from the obvious reality that this is all insufficient in the world that we're trying to create.
Yeah, no doubt. And if the world were as interested in like academic conferences or stuff, or the classroom, I would be having the same. I mean, it's maybe a similar, I don't know if that makes sense, but sense of relationship to what's being watched. People just don't care about that like we do sports for the most part. But anyway, yeah. So I was trying to look up real quick, who owns, so Chelsea is owned by Todd Bowley.
Yeah.
And Clear Lake Capital actually has the largest.
I think that's his company, though. I think Clear Lake.
Oh, okay.
I think he's affiliated with Clear Lake.
And Mark Walter of the Guggenheim Partners, and a Swiss billionaire, Hans-Georg Weiss. Okay.
I think they paid $6 billion for Chelsea.
No, this says 2.5. They got, in May 2022, it says 2.5 billion euros from Roman Abramovich. It says here.
I thought it was more than that.
Maybe that's what it's valued at now.
Yeah, I can't remember. I have to go look it up. But they certainly paid a pretty steep price for it.
So what is the EPL like? What does the English world feel like with all these North Americans buying it up. Like, is there a crisis in England over this? Are they mad about this?
There has been a crisis in the past. I mean, the most recent manifestation of the crisis was when they had the proposed Super League that all the fans, particularly in the UK, rebelled against. So that was, I think that's the latest reiteration. I don't think that tension ever goes away. That's always a topic in the UK. Is all these, quote unquote private equity owners. I mean, Liverpool is owned by Americans. Man United is owned by Americans. These two teams are owned by Americans. Newcastle is owned by the Saudis. There's a few others. I mean, it's I would say probably today, certainly of the top teams, except for Tottenham, which is local. I think the top teams in the top 10 are pretty much owned by private equity.
Not to sound petty, but a lot of football fans wouldn't call Tottenham a top team, but there's that.
Well, I mean, I mean, it's not a top team in terms of their
I take it, yeah,
trophies, but I mean,
I'm being petty.
In terms of their status, they just built a $2 billion stadium. I mean, they got a lot of money.
Damn, Clear Lake is manages $85 billion.
There you go.
What's interesting though, yes, there's been, it depends what spaces you're in terms of how much there's a crisis and how much people hate all, like everything that Robert, you just ran down. But what's interesting, Jared, too, and I don't know what this says about society, is that I know for a fact that a lot of the vitriol that fans have is highly correlated with how their teams are doing and the tribalism associated with it. So, for example, foreign ownership is terrible unless ... or everybody will, exactly. Everybody will hate on one team for having foreign owners, foreign investors, but then as soon as their team gets to come up, it's like, this is fantastic. The most obvious example is Newcastle fans who's now owned by the Saudis, and who are loving life, right? Because Newcastle now, well, last season more so than this season, they were in the Champions League last season, or they qualified for it, right? They had and all this investment coming in, and so that's all great. I mean, shoot, even Arsenal, right? Arsenal has Emirates on their jersey, like they have money's all everywhere, but people want a scapegoat, and tribalism impacts a lot of the analysis. Not for everybody. I don't want to be disingenuous, but there's a lot of that going on.
So to that last, to Lentz's comment, it's kind of it is always kind of funny to me to do this. This is Clear Lake's portfolio. And when you just scroll down, and then in the midst of all of this, you see like one of the biggest clubs in the world. it's just in the middle, of all this other stuff. It's just one thing, and it. So when you start to consider how different people relate to these things. And is it true they also own the Dodgers? I didn't see that in here.
Guggenheim is from what I understand, is a part owner, and Guggenheim, I think, has control of the Dodgers. I'm not sure exactly what the percentage is, but actually, I think Guggenheim Partners is actually. I'm not sure if this is true, but I think either the CEO or one of the top managing directors is a brother.
Great.
But that's, Magic Johnson is, I guess, one of the minority players there.
I was just reading a little bit about Magic. People love to talk about Magic, and
it's absurd.
Him being a billionaire now and all this other kind of stuff. And it just seemed it's like a lower level. I hate to say it this way, but it's like it seems like a lower level version of basically what Trump has done in selling your name as a brand to larger companies and entities who use it to market their product. And then you get a
Yeah,
cut and they call you an owner.
I'm not sure it's the same as Trump. I think Trump is,
Because that's basically, if I understood, that's how he, like all these Trump towers and stuff, they're not his, and he hasn't built them. They've paid him for the name, is really the point I'm getting at. That's really, and then he gets, but in Magic's case, they'll say, but he's also a quote unquote minority owner of this and that. That's all I meant by that. It may not, it's an imperfect comparison, I'm sure, but that's really what
yeah.
I meant by that. Because it's not, it's not as if, yeah, that's it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, my impression about Magic, and I don't know where he's got his investments. I know he used to be big in franchises. So whether with McDonald's or God knows what, but Starbucks, but whatever it was. My impression about him getting kind of top billing is kind of like the the token black investor.
Yeah.
And I don't know the structure of the deals. I don't know whether he's actually putting in equity or whether he had to borrow money. Maybe that's certainly possible, either from the co-investors he's with or from banks to allow him to have a minority stake. And
Starbucks, Burger King, and then Equitrust Life Insurance Company are his biggest, which is his biggest thing. And I'm not entirely sure how the deals work either, to be honest. But it doesn't seem like it reads as if it's just him giving his name to these things and then saying things like, I'm doing this to help minorities.
I don't think that they would let that happen.
Really?
No, not in the world of private equity. You're not gonna get into that game without some kind of capital in the pot.
No, but I'm talking about with this. Yeah, but I'm talking about where Magic is making his money. Magic is making his money, as I said, with already existing entities.
You mean like the franchises? You mean?
Yeah, that want to expand into a black market. So it's like even a version of what I was just looking at historically with Nixon, Ray Kroc of McDonald's, and Tom Burrell, the black ad exec. And Nixon says to Ray Kroc and other business leaders, I need black people to be convinced that they have safety, in that they don't need to rebel, that they can just do black capitalism and become entrepreneurialism and redefine black powers, black capitalism and all that. And I need the white business world to open themselves up to letting black franchisee owners run their businesses in black communities. So that was like one of the where a lot of that transition. So that's what I think Magic is basically the modern version of. Starbucks says, do we really need another Starbucks in, whatever county, black county, United States? Not really. And we don't want to run it, but we'll get a little tax incentive. We'll get a little brand deal. We'll do a little diversity thing. And we'll get we'll cover our tracks a little bit.
I think there's some of that for sure. I mean, I don't know about him. I don't know whether that wholly is applicable to him, but I do think that when he left basketball, he got a helping hand from Jerry Buss. And Jerry Buss, positioned him to be an investor. And Buss's network, I'm sure, helped as well. So I think that there's there's window dressing, and then there's the issue of putting actual capital to work. And I think that he's at the point now where he's got some capital. I just don't know how much. So I think he's playing it's like LeBron. LeBron has, certainly probably more money than Magic, I would guess at this point. LeBron's got more, I think, financial muscle. Michael Jordan clearly has financial muscle. What they're doing in terms of their own portfolios is anybody's guess.
Well, actually, so this what I just looked up. It says that LeBron is worth exactly the same 1.2 billion that Magic is, but I think that has. But again, I think that has as much to do with the value that their name brand is, as opposed to and its value to other entities. So whether it's Nike,
I'm not sure I agree. I'm not sure that I agree with you on that one.
Okay,
because if you look at how
where are they making their
if you look at how people in this, let's just call it private equity for lack of a better way to describe it. If you look at how they have, their quote unquote calculations made, technically speaking, none of these calculations should have goodwill as part of a legitimate appraisal of what they're valued at. And goodwill is their brand. That should be excluded. This should be, hard assets. And I think that, there's some brand value by having them involved. But when you do a calculation like these nonsense calculations that Forbes does, they should not be including goodwill or that person's brand in the calculation. Now, if they are, that should be revealed.
Well, I'm saying
this should be on cash flow or revenues or comparables, but it shouldn't be based on goodwill, which is their brand.
That's just my assumption, based on because where are they making they seem to be making money off of some. It's. I was just looking at that yellow card.
I mean, there's a difference between, you say making money. There's a difference between cash flow.
Yeah, and I don't. That's what I'm saying.
And cash, right?
Yeah,
cash on hand is one thing. Asset valuations are something else, because asset valuations can be, at least theoretically, based on comparables, based on revenue generation. So you've got to assume that when they say assets, it doesn't mean that they're liquid. It's just that in an objective valuation, they would be able to say that, the market value of what they're holding is $1 billion, and that doesn't mean that they can sell it tomorrow for $1 billion.
That's essentially what I'm trying to say. You said it better, but that's essentially what I'm trying to say about both of them. And that I think that what is presented as their worth to the public is actually based on what value they bring to some bigger company.
Yeah, but I'm not sure I agree with that part.
Okay. All right. Well, I feel like
based on,
in my mind,
on
we're
the
saying
world
the
that I
same
come
thing,
out
but
of,
it's
I
all
would
good.
just say that that's,
I just
think that I think that's a stretch.
Okay.
I don't think that their names mean anything in terms of, what the value of the Commanders are. I mean, the fact that Magic Johnson has a 0.04% stake in the Washington Commanders doesn't increase the Commanders' value. The only thing that it does is, for public relations purposes, the real ownership group of the Commanders can point to Magic Johnson and say, "Shit."
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
That's public relations. That's got nothing to do with the valuation. It's like the Dodgers. He owns a piece of the Dodgers. That doesn't make the Dodgers more valuable. Okay. It's a public relations ploy. It's got nothing to do with financials.
Right. That's what I mean when I'm saying the word brand.
Yeah, I mean,
it's PR. It's
PR. Sure. It's
And
PR.
by value, I don't mean he's making them money, but by value, I mean he's performing a public relations. That's the value that they get is the PR.
I think that's true. I think that's
Okay,
true.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. That's why I said I think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I just wanted to make it clear. It's got nothing to do with cash flow, revenue.
right?
No
Exactly.
traditional valuation matrix is involved with that. Yeah. It's PR. Yeah, absolutely. And it works. I mean, they can honestly say they've got a minority investor. So, but he's not. He's not in a decision-making position.
No, that's exactly my point. That's my whole thing. And that's sort of what I was saying. It's more akin to the whole Trump thing. It's not when you see the name attached, it's not that he has any input or decision making. He has basically sold his name to them. That's all I'm really saying. I think
but I think even with Trump, though, we got to make a distinction, right?
Okay.
I mean, because you can't deny the hard assets that Trump has. He has hard assets.
I don't know.
He
Was
has
the last time
he has also made money licensing his name out globally. There's no question about that. But there's also no question about the fact that he owns real estate and a decent amount of it. It may be indebted, that's certainly a possibility.
I'm just saying, I don't think
he'll probably pardon himself and avoid all these lawsuits that he's facing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an example. When I was working for the city of New York, just to make a long story short, I can't remember the number of units, but just to give you an idea, Trump inherited, before he ever really got started in the business, he inherited several thousand units of apartments in Brooklyn and Queens. So, he started off with
yeah, I'm not. Again, Robert, I'm with you, man. I wasn't trying to. I was just making.
No, I understand what you're saying. Sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're the same. We're in the same boat. I'm saying at a functional level, at this point, it's largely the same. In terms of that brand and that name, selling that name recognition. That was it. That was it. What's happening in the game?
It's pretty much of a standoff. They haven't had a lot of shots on goal, at least from what I've been watching. They had they had one guy that had a good save.
You guys, what? It's been the last few minutes have been pretty back and forth. There've been some chances. Arguably, Chelsea could have been up 1-0. Martinelli probably should have scored that last one. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did see that. He probably should have scored that.
But Gusto had a chance that. So it's. Like Arsenal had the better of it, or at least when they were feeling each other out in the first 15 minutes, it seemed like Arsenal was on it. But they're both pressing out. They're similar. Oh, that's fantastic play. Chelsea's grown into it though. It's much better from them.
Have you ever been to a game in England?
Me?
I haven't.
Either?
No, I haven't. No.
Because this I have not been to this stadium, but I have been to the old Arsenal stadium.
Mm.
And the old Arsenal stadium was like it's such a shame that they somehow couldn't replicate that. But the proximity to the field is just amazing.
Yeah.
Where you're basically on top of it? Is that what you mean?
You're right on top, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Arsenal's old stadium was like that. Arsenal's old stadium, I can't remember the name of it.
Highbury.
Highbury. Highbury. Yeah. That imagine a
Shout
typical.
out Lentz. Lentz, what's
Lentz
up?
is on it.
Lentz is on it. Yes, Lentz knows.
Yeah, imagine like a typical row, an entire square block of row houses. You're walking down the street, and then all of a sudden, where there should be a row house, there's an empty space. You walk into that empty space, and you're basically walking to the entrance of Arsenal's old stadium. I mean, it was crazy. It was a crazy place.
Mutanda, what's your preferred position?
I'm a center. I grew up as a center midfielder, and then in college I played center midfield, and then in the pros I was more of a winger.
Where did you play in college, Mutanda?
I started at Santa Clara. I walked on at Santa Clara, actually. I was not heavily recruited. And then transferred to Seattle University, where I finished. I played 3 years at Seattle University.
You played high school in Seattle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you ever had any contact at all with Leslie Gallimore?
Yeah. I was on a committee with Leslie in my time at the Crew. So yeah, I haven't met her in person. We still have to set that up, but we're on very good terms.
What do you mean? You like a Zoom call with her or what?
The part of they called it the Equity Action Committee that I was on as part of MLS's efforts to the academy space, the efforts to how do I put it? I mean, to combat systemic racism in our spaces / deal with deal with the everything happening after George Floyd's murder.
That was nasty. That was nasty.
You just saw the goal.
Yeah, that was nasty.
I didn't want to say anything.
That was nasty. So who was that? That was Havertz?
Yeah.
Wow.
What? I don't know what Chelsea's complaining about. What are they complaining?
No, they're trying to complain about they're saying he's offsides.
No,
now they're checking. They're not checking the offsides.
He might be.
He might be. He might be, but I think that the guy that's behind him,
that Fofana, that left shoulder is looking.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, they need to change. They're changing this rule supposedly for the World Cup.
So what? To what though? What is the method here?
No, they're discussing it. They haven't. I don't know if they've.
The proposed change, if it happens, is that if there is any part of the offensive player's body that is tangential to the defensive player's body, it's not offsides. So in other words, he could be past the line and still not be offsides. That would be a major.
They called it offside. Wow.
I'll tell you what, the EPL's stupid for not having the automated offsides like they do in La Liga.
Oh, I didn't know there was a difference. Actually, I didn't understand.
Yeah, there's a difference. So it's one of the reasons our guy Mbappe, not our guy. You guys
that he got trashed.
Because the technology they have is much better. So they catch it, and then you can't argue with it. It's like it's there. The problem in the EPL, part of it is when they send it to that VAR, you literally have dudes in a booth somewhere, like trying to draw lines, and that's one of the reasons it takes so damn long.
Oh, so
Where
there's no
there's
VAR
no
like that? There's no in
well,
La
there's
Liga
VAR,
or
but there's
well, I
no
mean like
automated
that.
offsides. There's no
Oh,
automated
wow.
offsides. So when you watch Real Madrid Barcelona, the reason they caught Mbappe so quick is because it was like, nope, let's check the automated technology. Oh, there he is. They actually have a graphic of where his body is in
Yeah.
line with the defenders. Boom, he's offsides, done. And if just whatever little body part is offsides, it's offsides, and then everybody goes about their business.
I think they should flip it. I think if there's any part of you that's onside, it should count.
I don't know, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I think people should just time their runs. How about that?
Ooh.
Like just
Ooh.
time your runs. The game, it's not that. I actually think of
I
all
thought
the rules.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
I
Go ahead.
saw him. No, Lentz is challenging me. I thought I saw him dribbling through a couple people to score that goal. He didn't do that.
No, he didn't do that.
Oh, my bad.
You got a pass, and you got.
All right, everybody. High standards here. That's all right. Okay, I'll adjust.
Of all the rules though in the game, of all the technological advances in the game, the offsides is, I think, maybe the best one. And having automated offsides makes a lot of sense, because if you think about how many controversial goals have happened throughout, the history of football and in World Cups and all that, if they had automated offsides, okay, people might say, oh, but we wouldn't get these amazing moments. Yeah, fair. But also people wouldn't have gotten just, hard done by. I think people are super critical of VAR, and the problem isn't the technology. The problem is the people who use it. You can use it really well. I would have loved VAR to be there when England won their World Cup, because maybe they would have called that goal back. But of course, people rarely make that argument, right? Because people still don't know if the ball was over the line.
So the goal line, the goal line technology piece is big. And then the flip side is I happened to be watching the game where they got robbed against Germany for that same thing in the 2000s with Gerard. Was that Gerard hit that shot?
That was South Africa World Cup. That was 2010.
Is that what that was? Yeah,
It was.
okay.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that ball went in.
That ball definitely went in.
The ball was in.
No, I'm with you on that though. I would rather have accurate calls and lost quote unquote moments than have moments that are based on something that 100%. Shouldn't have happened.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but what doesn't make any sense though is having two different procedural mechanisms for VAR. I mean,
no,
VAR
that's
should be
true.
the same everywhere.
That's true.
If it's going to work, it's going to work everywhere. I mean, why England has something different than Spain doesn't make any sense.
Because they're jokers. The officiating is laughable sometimes. Like the way they do it, it's actually really fascinating. Like you could write a whole paper / book on it, because they try to justify a lot of their BS with this, again, English jargon. This is the home of the game and our standard. This language about a high bar or some whatever to excuse absolutely nonsensical decisions. I mean, there are decisions that have gone to VAR, and they've looked at it and still come to a decision that's just laughable. And it happens to every team. But what happens also is, because of tribalism, so the English always get in their way in this, right? It's not just them, but I would say Europe and football fans, you could say. But then they will excuse certain decisions in favor of their team, even though it was a horrible process, horrible procedure, because it impacts a team that they want to lose. Rather than just saying, hey, this system is bad, our officials need some help. Like, English officials are constantly getting stuff wrong. Even this whole thing with Arsenal and how they've gotten some of their red cards, or how they've gotten punished for like kicking the ball away, is also inexcusable. It's stupid. Because what's interesting is, to punish players for attempting to stop a quick restart and to have that as your, the hill that you're going to die on as officials is stupid. Because in every single league, there isn't a professional player that exists on earth who wants a team to take a quick restart against them. So if you're going to punish people with yellow cards for that all the time, you close yourself in, you put yourself into a situation where you're going to disproportionately punish teams for something that everybody does. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but then you could say that about any rule because every team breaks rules, and you at some point you got to start calling it. Like I would like to see more calls for simulation that they said they promised at one point they're gonna crack down on, and but people say, well, everybody does it. Well, yeah, that's the point. I mean, and that's where I think you need to have some discretion of a human referee that's able to say, all right, this isn't the moment for that. This isn't the moment for that. But I don't know. But at the same time, it's whack when somebody kicks the ball away when you have a chance for a quick restart. Like you should be punished for that.
Right. So here's what I'm saying though. And I agree with what you're saying there, but I'll give you a concrete example. Man City versus Arsenal. Of this Premier League. I don't know if you guys watched that game. Do you guys remember that game?
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, I don't ever remember it. I did. Yeah.
Okay,
was it a tie or what?
It was a tie, but when Arsenal was down 1-0, when Arsenal was down 1-0, the goal that they scored came off of. So first, the referee. This is what's wild, and I'm talking about this not because of allegiance to one team or the other. I'm talking about the process here. Here's the process.
Oh, he's early.
Yeah. Hey.
Tell me how I'm sounded. Because I'm using like a cheaper mic. So
it's all right. We hear you. You're good. We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
No. Now I feel like you owe us an explanation because you went hard about, I can't watch this in public. So what changed?
He said halftime.
He said he was going to come on halftime.
Yeah. So
it was just a few minutes early.
It's a few minutes early. He's a few minutes early.
I feel you. Okay. What I'm saying, so no, Jared, like,
yeah,
when you say you can say it for every rule, this is the thing, and this is what's beautiful about this sport. Yes, of course, there's subjectivity, and people have to make judgment calls. But that's my point about why it's so egregious for you to have a blanket statement about a part of the game that is entirely a judgment call. Because when you say don't kick the ball away, and players do it too much, there are different ways of kicking the ball away. Right? If I kick the ball away after, like, if I kick it 30 yards down the field when you're about to take, like, when you're about to take a quick free kick, yeah, that's inexcusable. If we're in a transition moment and there's a foul or a tussle or whatever, and then it's a foul on me, and I just kind of like step on the ball a little bit, make sure my team is organized. To me, that's not a yell. That's smart. Like, that should happen. That's not a yellow card.
No, that's why I said there needs to be a human involved. I'm not mad at that. I'm with you on that.
Right. But what the EPL has done, but this is the problem. What the EPL has done, or at least what they implemented, and Arsenal fans are right in this regard to be upset because this is BS. What the EPL did when you say something like, "Oh, we're gonna really punish, stopping quick free kicks," is you've tried to make you've made something that's very gray. And you try to make it black and white and try to punish people for, every time you kick the ball away, or stop a quick restart, we're going to punish you. And it's like, look, that not every stopping a quick restart should be a yellow card. And if you just want proof of this, look at La Liga, for example, or Barcelona Real Madrid for how it's refereed differently in other places. You watch a La Liga game, right? By and large, I don't watch every single La Liga game, but when you watch Barcelona Real Madrid, the game is refereed slightly differently. The tempo is slightly different. Not every time a player stops the opponent from taking a quick free kick is a yellow card, because it shouldn't. Like, that's ridiculous. You would end up literally with no players on the field if you yellow carded a player for that every single time. You wouldn't play, right? So why have that as your standard?
I think they want to be on record. It's the same thing that what I was saying about the fakery around claiming to do something about simulation. They just want to be on the record saying we want you to stop, but we're not going to actually be able to. Because to your point, if you really flagged everybody who faked an injury or faked whatever to get a call, it would be 3-on-3 or 2-on-2 by the end of the game. So I'm with you on that. Daniel, how you doing, man? You all right, man?
I watched the game. I'll watch the game.
He's the best in it.
I'm mildly interested in what you guys are talking about, but like I'm watching the game.
It's not that deep. We're just talking about bad officiating.
That's a foul. Okay.
Daniel,
That was a foul.
what time is on the clock that you're looking at, Daniel?
44:07, 8, 9.
Oh, he's a little bit below.
So the Jackson foul,
So I'm
right?
like
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
I'm 35 minutes or so in front of Daniel.
Well, if you're
35 minutes.
then that's bad.
I mean,
Seconds.
Seconds.
Yeah. I was about to say because
So
Daniel and I
so
were about
does Brazilian TV not put in like that buffer time in case some naked person runs on the pitch or
Oh, that's what they
somebody
do.
does
That's probably not. No, Brazil doesn't care about that.
they want it live, like
They want it
absolutely
live.
Yeah, it's live. I think our feed is just ahead of your feed.
Yeah,
Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
American TV puts in a buffer, I think, just in case some bad, or if one of the
Absolutely.
person swears, it's not
Absolutely.
actually live. So you're always looking back in time. But
Who took that free kick? You got to get it over the wall,
it has to
bro.
be Palmer.
He just gave him a yellow card.
See that right there, Palmer. That right there. Did he get a card for that? For holding the ball?
That's dumb. That's dumb.
Did he really though? No, he didn't. Did he?
No. Madueke, that's if
Wait. Did he? Who got that card?
Madueke did. Yeah,
For standing on top of the ball?
That's just stupid, though.
Idiotic.
Yeah, but he's just
idiotic.
dumb. That's just dumb.
It's dumb.
Who?
It's not.
Madueke.
You're saying he's dumb, but
Daniel,
Matanda's not a
the player or the referee.
The player. I'm saying he's dumb.
Listen, I agree he shouldn't do it, but it's bad officiating.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. That has no. What did he do? What did he stop there? Just add time if it's such a bad thing.
What do you mean? What did he stop? He started dribbling the ball for no reason.
He
Like
didn't.
it's a foul. It was a foul on Palmer, or if Palmer did the foul. Instead of Arsenal taking a free kick, they can't because Madueke's playing with the ball. I don't know if it's nervous energy or whatever it is. Like I can excuse it, but that doesn't mean it isn't stupid.
Did you
Are
see?
you guys watching this free kick or no?
Did you see where the?
I'm seeing it get set up. I haven't seen it taken yet.
Okay.
Daniel, that foul was in the. I'm not. All right, I'm gonna lose my mind. That shit pisses me off. Man.
Oh, I was behind time. So now I'm 46-27.
Oh, sorry, Jerry.
I'm 47:03.
No. I'm on headphones. Don't worry about it. She can't hear you. That's why. But that's why at the beginning of the live, I misnamed the name Ear Doctor gave to his live stream this morning because she's sitting in here. Oh wow, we got people in the chat snitching.
Yeah,
So Lentz is in Brazil. Lentz must be in Brazil. Is Lentz in your living room, Robert?
No. Who's Lens?
In the chat. Lentz
okay.
is on. So we get to watch Daniel's reaction.
It's on ESPN is transmitting the game down here. Who's transmitting it up there?
No, people might be joking. That don't worry. You gotta be
that's
careful.
messed up. That's messed up. That's messed up.
People would be.
Oh, Lentz is a mess.
Hit the wall.
Lentz is a mess. Lentz had said golazo. That's messed up. Lentz, man, Lentz is all right. Now I know better. You got me. I'm now Lentz. I gotta look at Lentz with new lenses.
Look, we're gonna get back to this yellow card for delaying restarts thing because it's actually. Idiotic.
I don't disagree with like the premise or the overall premise that you're saying. I know you see these runners right here. Okay. So I don't disagree with your idea that like the mandate for the referees is stupid. Yes, but once the players know that that's the mandate, don't be a dumbass. Now the only one that really makes me mad, and it's halftime now, so we're good.
Halftime,
like the only one that makes me mad is like this one.
What
like
players
for decades, ever since probably the 1970s, like when yellow cards were introduced, players have been doing this one. So I think last year Jackson got like 5 yellow cards just because he got fouled and he was going like this to the referee. Like, it's like, I understand how that gesture is just ingrained in you. So it's harsh, but
The
they
the
want the game to
comeback,
be like rugby, where like the referee is God on grass.
but the comeback I would have to what you said about when the players understand what the referee's mandate is, then they need to act accordingly, etc. Yeah, but that doesn't take into account, or it kind of washes over the fact that when you're in the heat of battle, the last thing players are thinking is, "Oh, what is this official mandate?" They're in the heat of battle, and
No, no, but you
you're gonna stop.
that's
No,
too
but what?
simplistic, because
No,
this is like just a natural
I'm
gesture.
not talking about this. I'm
But
talking about
but
yeah.
let me land it though.
Hmm.
Coaches will instruct players after a foul to stand in front of the ball, so the rest of the team, especially attacking players, so your strikers, your forwards, people
Hmm.
who aren't definitely engaged in the set piece unless it's in a particular area, they will tell a player to stand in front of the ball to buy time so the other players can get into position. So there is a benefit of a player standing in front of the ball, and players have been coached that way for time. So
Okay.
if so it's there's a tactical advantage to standing in front of the ball for the team that stands in front of the ball. There's no tactical advantage to doing this. It's just an annoyance to the referee, so they're just backlashing. But once, in other words, standing in front of the ball is something that you would coach. Is something that a coach would actually instruct his players to do. You have to
Yeah.
coach that out of them because it's a part of the mandate from referees. So that's the difference. Madueke
Okay.
knows not to mess with the ball.
I hear you, but here's I'm aligned with you on a lot of that. What I'm saying though is that the context though, and that the referees, like even again, this is not a Madueke situation. For me, it shouldn't be a yellow card. I understand the mandate. I understand, okay, the player, and to your point, oh man, it's stupid why you're doing it. Here's why it's not a yellow card. And because here's the thing, players are clever. We've seen this before. To prove my point about what I'm about to say is, how many times do you see players or teams, individuals will try to take a free kick quickly? Not necessarily because they want to gain an advantage down the field, but because they want this player to be booked. So what do? They kick a ball into a player who's standing close because they're like, oh, see? And they point at him. What does that prove? What proves is this game is always players are trying to be clever about getting other players in trouble, sometimes more so than actually playing the game. And referees have to know that and not buy into that and issue cards just because they're trying to uphold some mandate. The Madueke situation here, for me, is not a yellow card. Why? Look where it was on the field, too. Timber and them complaining about what he's doing, they know damn well they're not going to gain anything from this. The ball's in the corner, deep
I
in the
didn't,
half.
but
Like, you got it as
I
a
didn't
referee.
see
Hold on,
them
let me know.
complain though.
No,
It was just the referee saying, "Oh, he's being dumb book." Like,
yeah, but that's exactly, and that's not good enough. That's bad officiating because now you put a guy on a yellow card. Why? Because of your mandate, not because he's actually doing something that really inhibits the other team. You get what I'm saying?
I agree with
But
I'm with you on the spirit of the law, but
it's
knowing the
just
letter of
stupid.
the law is also important at this point.
But that's
Of
you
course,
gotta.
Lens is supporting the dark arts because they're
Right, but
being dark
they're
artistic in
not
the
dark.
chat.
I don't even say they're dark arts though. It's just like, yo, you gotta allow players
Oh man,
to you have to allow the expression of players
I
in the
agree. I
game.
agree. I
And
agree.
there and
I
and
agree. We
in
agree. But in the same way, you wouldn't tell your child if he's confronted with a police officer, just say what you want. You have the right to say what you want. Like, you
Wow,
wouldn't tell
that's a
them that.
hell of a wow.
You would tell them, do what you have to do in that interaction to get home safely, and then we can talk about spirit or letter of the law. But you do what you have to do in the moment to be safe. Madueke should just be safe.
I don't know where to I don't know what to say to that. My man.
I understand it, but I'm uncomfortable with that analogy. But I understand.
I was uncomfortable when I was formulating it, but I was
Yeah,
like,
but I get it.
I already made it in my head, so I might as well just say
But
it.
we wouldn't say to the person who speaks up. I would hope we wouldn't say to the person who speaks up and then to the cop and then gets mistreated that they deserved it for
that it
being
was their
stupid.
fault. Of
We
course
wouldn't
not.
say. So we wouldn't say. So we wouldn't say Manaweke, if I'm saying his name correctly, is stupid. Right, Daniel?
That's a nuance, because I do think some people are stupid, but being stupid doesn't mean you deserve what happens to you.
So then he shouldn't have got the card. Is that not what Mutanda is in part arguing?
That's why I said I agree. But like just understand we live in white supremacy. What happens to you? What happened to you? That's all I'm saying. Understand the context in which the moves are being made. Like the referee is going to act as a police officer. That's my ultimate analogy. That referees are the cops, which is why I don't like them.
But they don't.
But
they don't
you have to understand the context of where you are.
They don't have to be cops. Like, listen, I agree. Referees don't have to act like cops.
They're failed cops. They're
because
the hall monitors of the world. They're the district attorneys of the sports world. They're just bad people. So they're going to do what they're going to do.
No, but here's the thing, though. There's referees.
Hey, Lentz. Hey, calm down, bro.
Referees.
Lentz is on one.
Cop C. Delete that shit, bro.
Referees don't have to act like cops. I agree with you that some think they are, and they're bad referees. That's my point.
I've never seen a police academy film in my life.
If you referee the game differently, if you referee the game differently, you let the players decide. You let the players express themselves instead of your stupid ass mandates. That's
Daniel, are you called Daniel Cop City Tulik now?
No.
Robert.
I'm just provoking, you know.
Yes.
Change
Don't
the
let
police from the oh wow, y'all are going way too far. But you know what? This explains it. I should have known the context in where I was. I mix what I like. So using that analogy was probably going to lead to what this is. So that's my fault. Because
but we
I
wouldn't call you
better.
stupid, and we don't think you deserve some punishment. That's the principle, Daniel. We love you and embrace you.
So this is it's the micro of the
somebody else called Daniel changed the police from the inside Tulik.
I deserve it because I'm here, and I should have known better. So
look at how happy consistent. Robert is with the chat all of a sudden. Robert is like he just found the chat for the first time in his life. Terrible. Don't let the chat turn us against each other, fellas. They're a divisive bunch.
Yeah. What's y'all? So
well, in this analogy, the chat is unfortunately the referee. So.
Oof.
But no, they're not. But what? No. Why? And why? Explain that.
Their comments are like yellow cards. If we say something, they give us a yellow card or they give us a red card. Like whether or not they like it, like they adjudicate the match, as it were. Pretty much.
What?
You said something that was a red card. You said something that was a yellow card. It was basically that.
Do they have the power to kick us out of this match?
That's Jared. That's that. Like he's That's,
okay.
He can do that, but
I want to break this paradigm that you have of like referees being cops and this. That's not what is that? Hey, but speaking of cops, this is a terrible transition, but we got to get to it. It's halftime. Amsterdam.
Oh,
Yo.
wow.
Amsterdam.
Yo.
Speak on.
Have you been? Has anyone been?
Yeah.
I'll assume
I've actually been twice now.
When's the last time you were there?
Just after the pandemic broke. So when did we go to Amsterdam?
Jared is VAR. Perfect analogy. There we go. Sorry.
That's messed up. 2022? When
That was Paris.
2020.
Like 2017, 2018.
Oh, it was before the pandemic?
Yeah.
You said you went twice.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, yeah, maybe 2017, 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. I guess I could have sworn we went, whatever.
I heard the weed
No,
is
you
trash
only went with
from
me once,
from
though.
my weed smoking friends. I heard it's not that great. It's all hype.
So I can't get into all my stories right now, but yeah, it is. It is.
You got to
It
talk in
is.
code because of
Yeah,
the headphones.
they tried they tried to. I went to this. I got challenged, is my point, and I was like, I demonstrated quickly that the challenge was undeserved, that it was an unwarranted challenge. Is the point? It was all blown up.
So you're like
out
one
of
of those
proportion.
man versus food channels where the people go into those competitions where like eat 5,000 pieces of pizza in 10 minutes.
In that moment, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I showed up. They couldn't believe that this tourist would be
smoke 10 blunts, get it free. Like
now, and I'm sure it wasn't just because of me, because I was with a group of other Africans. So they were who were more recognizably African. And I remember we were outside of a spot, and I heard a Schwarzer reference. Absolutely. You know, I'm like, what was that movie where they were like, I think Tracy Morgan said it on 30 Rock. I've come to learn how people say the N-word in every language. I recognize it globally. So yeah. Anyway, I have been a couple times, and I'm not surprised that, given the diversity, given the world politics, and whose sound is that bad? Whose sound is that? Who's hissing like that?
it might be me.
I think it is you. Yeah, it's you. Oof. Anyway, let me just mute you for a quick second, because anyway, I'm not surprised that what we saw happening would have happened, given the diversity of the community, and given its history, and given some of the folks that congregate there. That's really the point I was getting at. And there is a strong, from what I gather, I wouldn't claim any real expertise, but a resistance community there. So if you all don't mind, I do have this part here. Chitty Matcha, shout out to one of our best social media supporters, had shown this, where Sky News erased its original reporting.
Violence in Amsterdam left at least 5 people injured and dozens have been arrested for what happened. Supporters of Israeli football club Maccabi Tel Aviv arrived in Amsterdam ahead of their UEFA Europa League match against Amsterdam club Ajax. On Wednesday, social media videos verified by Sky News show Maccabi Tel Aviv fans tearing down Palestinian flags from outside of homes. Other social media videos appear to show residents chasing Maccabi Tel Aviv fans. On Thursday, just before the game, crowds of Maccabi fans were filmed singing racist and anti-Arab songs. While a pro-Palestinian demonstration had been banned by the mayor over fears there would be clashes. Later that evening during the match, Israeli supporters appeared to disrupt the minute silence for Valencia flood victims with chants, whistles and fireworks. Maccabi fans were seen attacking locals as a police car can be seen driving by. People with Palestinian flags were seen marching on the streets. Maccabi supporters say they were beaten and attacked on the streets of the Dutch capital, with videos showing some of the violence.
Say free Palestine and we go. Good.
Sky News could not independently verify all of the footage shown. Police arrested 62 people. 5 were taken to hospital, but have since been discharged. Israeli far-right ultras are notorious for their racism and physical violence. Dutch, Israeli and British leaders denounced the attacks as anti-Semitic and even referred to it as a pogrom. But their statements failed to mention the assaults by the Israeli hooligans against Dutch citizens. Violence in Amsterdam
and then
left at least
they
5 people injured and dozens have been arrested.
are
But
shown
what
taking
happened?
that
Everything should be done
context
to track down
out.
and prosecute the perpetrators. This is simply anti-Semitic violence against Israelis that actually defies description.
Supporters of Israeli football club Maccabi Tel Aviv arrived in Amsterdam ahead of their UEFA Europa League match against Amsterdam club Ajax. On Wednesday, social media videos verified by Sky News
Did you hear the change in the audio
tearing
quality?
down Palestinian
Yep,
flags
yep,
from outside of homes.
They made her reword it.
A second
yep.
Palestinian flag was pulled down from a building in a clip verified by Sky News. Another video uploaded to social media shows a man being chased through the street with a caption that reads, "Watch and enjoy 6 Zionists chased away, free Palestine." On Thursday, just before the game,
There you hear it
crowds
back
of
again.
Maccabi fans were filmed singing racist and anti-Arab songs. On that same evening, a pro-Palestine demonstration took place at the Anton de Compline Square after authorities banned organisers from holding it outside the arena. Later that evening, during the match, Israeli supporters appeared to disrupt the minute silence for Valencia flood victims with chants, whistles, and fireworks. A video posted on social media shows a large group of hooded men dressed in black running down the street and striking people at random.
But I want to make clear, we are used in Amsterdam that there can be tensions. There are many demonstrations and protests, and we are always prepared for them. And of course, they are related to the situation in the Middle East and the ongoing war in Israel and Palestine. But what happened last night is not a protest. It has nothing to do with protest or demonstration. It was crime.
People with Palestinian flags were seen marching on the streets. Maccabi supporters say they were beaten and attacked on the streets of the Dutch capital.
It's the same feeling that I felt in the morning of the 7th of October.
Sky News could not independently verify all of the footage shown. 62 people have been arrested.
That's evil.
I'm sorry, but
The propaganda on that was kind of wild, bro.
that team has a reputation. It has a reputation both in Israel and outside of Israel for being staunchly racist.
At least they get beat every time they play. Like I think Ajax win like 4-0, so at least
4 or 5. They shouldn't. They should. The fact that Israel was in the Olympics is ridiculous.
I saw
by politics or quality of play, Robert, or both.
Well, politics. I don't know about the quality of play. I don't know who they have, but I mean, it was just they should have been banned from the Olympics. It's ridiculous.
Fine.
No, that wasn't going to happen. But you're right. You're right, especially with what the Olympics are today.
Group A of the Nations League?
Huh?
Are they really?
Yeah, they're in it.
I think they might be.
Yep.
I mean,
Group A though.
They've been getting their ass handed to them, but
I think they are in it. Yeah. The game is back on.
Yeah, see, I think I got the clock right on our end here.
If anybody hasn't seen it, I encourage you to see that film Forever Pure about Beitar Jerusalem.
No, I haven't.
I haven't seen that.
I put it in the chat, and you can. There's I'll find a link.
Oh, Nani, what is that?
There is Joseph Massa. There was this beautiful book called.
Put it in the WhatsApp for us.
I like Nani though. That was just a really bad shot.
Beitar Jerusalem is worse than Maccabi. That's hard to believe.
Well, worse is, but it's yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It is a little bit wild to me to see all of the politics that get ignored and the behavior that gets ignored in not only the reporting of the sport, but just in it being somehow allowable.
That was really good from Saka.
That was Saka's. He's looked pretty good. I think.
All right. I put that in the group chat. Y'all check it out.
Bukayo Saka. Did we? Oh well, I guess this guy kind of lays out what happened. But so, what were your guys' thoughts about seeing the? Because Watan had a lot of thoughts about the Arab cab taxi drivers like forming like Voltron, as they say, and taking care of what needed to be taken care of. So, what did you make of it, Watan?
I'm in a safe space, right? This is a safe space.
I mean,
if you don't know that this is a safe space by now, Matan, you in bad shape, huh?
No, I know. I'm just. With everything that's gone on in the past, and there's such a link between elections here and everything, but I think some things that maybe people are not allowed to say or maybe don't say enough for my liking, and Daniel and I spoke about this in private. I like revolutionary violence, man. I love vengeance. I love when people get what's owed to them. And I think sometimes the thing that I can't stand, and yeah, maybe this is not just the athletics, my time in athletics and all that, but I just mean that, like, I cannot stand people who talk about, well, I hate violence in all its forms. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. Because you're trying to tell me that the Haitian Revolution, you're not cheering for the enslaved Africans? Were they not violent? Violence never solves anything. Really? It seems like that's not true because of the way the world's been constructed. There's a certain violence that you are uncomfortable with, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. So if a bunch of, even if we want to just call them football hooligans and just use that and sort of sanitize the genocide happening, because there are IDF soldiers in that crowd, right? There are IDF soldiers who went there. So there are people who literally, either pushed the button or pulled the trigger and killed people who went to Amsterdam. Now, if they went there, and we all saw what that TikTok lady and other people on social media who posted things like, they were there like 24 hours before, 48 hours before, and they were causing mayhem all the time. They beat up cab drivers, right? Like, they tore down flags. They were carrying around pipes, like trying to assault people. Yeah, and Mossad, like, so basically they're using this as an operation to gain more sympathy to the cause and to show us, to portray a certain narrative. And then they got their asses beat. That's what happened. People rose up and said, nah, man, this ain't happening. And then the other fascinating part is to see the way mainstream media outlets, even when they were trying to sort of portray the violence that the Maccabi fans did, clearly had this like narrative that they had to run. Oh, and now the Jew, because they would always end, and there were always telltale words that they would use. Anti-Semitism, of course. Jews running for safety. The worst violence in Amsterdam since this and that and the other. And you're like, what? Fools effed around and found out. That's what happened. End of story. End of story. So I was thrilled to see that happen. And by the way, these Maccabi fans were so traumatized, right? They were so terrified that there's footage of them now landing in Tel Aviv and singing their genocidal songs. My politics says if you chant, if you obviously you commit the genocide and you start singing, you go to any place in the world and you start singing about how there are no schools left because there are no children left, you deserve to get beat up. I don't care. You deserve to get effed up. And that's what happened.
Now listen.
It's unacceptable. Like, and the speed at which they turned it, and I tweeted out too, and other people said it. I'm just like, if the narrative, if the spin can happen and we can watch it in real time, all the propaganda, all the terms, if they can do that about something that happens in Amsterdam, right? In Amsterdam, with all of the the history of the guilt that exists in that city with regards to the extermination of Jewish people and their collaboration with it, because that's real, right? That's real. I've been there. I know, and I've read about it. It's real. People have written about it. There's a lot of guilt in Amsterdam about that. If they can spin that to a pro-Zionist angle, obviously imagine what they can do in occupied Palestine and the lies that have been told there. Really, what happened in Amsterdam is a microcosm of everything, right? Pro-Zionist people went to a foreign land, started some stuff, got dealt with, and then tried to spin it as if they're the victims. That sounds very familiar. So anyway, I'll end with that. So I'd love to see.
They got the Anne Frank house is a major tourist attraction to this day.
Have you been there, Jared?
No.
I've been there. And it was, yeah. No, and then there are people trying to, I saw a post, somebody like, they had Anne Frank and they were like, oh my God, it's happening. Like
But my real reason for not going on the 2 times I could have is in part because of what you're saying. I'm not interested in the tourist attraction being I'm not interested in the story of a family being quietly exterminated being a tourist attraction.
I feel that.
Now pick one of the 100 or more various uprisings I've heard existed and turn that into a tourist attraction.
Yep.
I might show up to that, but I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
So I'm with you on that. And I would like to think that, man, I can't even believe. I mean, yeah. Anyway, I agree with what you're saying. And meanwhile, in another inappropriate segue, Daniel's in his own state of trauma over these missed opportunities.
Oh man!
But no, man,
that wasn't a foul throw, but I agree with what Matanda said.
We talked about it, Daniel. Violent. You didn't think I was as violent as I am, bro. Violent, bro.
You didn't think I thought you were as violent as you are. That's the nuance.
It's self-defense. It's righteous self-defense.
Oh man.
You're Congolese, so that kind of.
The Holocaust industry is he does call that stuff.
Congolese don't play.
Congolese don't play. And the Holocaust industry is actually, that was a great book. I really enjoyed that book.
That is real. Norm Finkelstein has been calling that out for time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been calling out for time.
I feel like
Gerald Horn's got a lot more books than me, I can tell you that.
Didn't he release a book yesterday? And does he have one coming out tomorrow?
He's got something coming out, something soon.
Yeah, they
just scored.
Hey, come on, man!
I'm sorry.
Why would you say that?
We don't know who they is. We don't know.
Yeah,
who they is,
but if it's no,
it must be Chelsea.
I don't know, brother.
Oh, Arsenal in transition.
Robert, why you have to? Stop playing just.
Ooh.
You have to forgive me. It was purely
Wow.
spontaneous.
Number 5.
Martinelli.
Oh,
They were complaining about him because he had missed I don't know how many damn
is he not
shots.
offside?
That's what I. But
That it looked like it looked like he could have been.
No, I don't
But
think so. No, they got that number. They got the number 6 up there. He's not offside.
That's just stupid.
He didn't have much of an angle.
No, he didn't. But Robert Sanchez is bad. So
is he the number one keeper? Is somebody not injured, or is he actually the number one?
It's like
keeper?
he left the entire side of the post open. It's ridiculous. I mean, my God.
Martinelli has a career of scoring on Chelsea. You know.
Nah, he's on side. Who's that? Fofana, number 6.
That's terrible defending, though. My goodness.
That goalie was just like
yeah. What's up with the keeper?
Daniel, I know you're pissed about how far inside Gusto was there. Why is he so far inside? And he never looks. That's the other thing. He never looks. You see that?
Well, there was 3 of them, so I think was it 2 on 3?
Yeah, but he never.
So he was attracted to the 2 in front of him necessarily, and then
talk to somebody to pick them up.
Wow, that behind the goal angle is crazy. You could see how bad his position was.
It's ridiculous.
It's a clever finish from Martinelli to see the space, though.
No, the clever finish.
Sanchez would have been there, I think. So.
Well, he oversold that. The keeper did. The clever finish that did you see the Salah goal yesterday?
Where he looked like he was going to.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
That guy's a demon. He's amazing.
Yeah, it was nice.
He is actually he's amazing. I think he's underrated. He's underrated. He's amazing.
That was, to me, that was the difference in those two, because he made the keeper move or think differently in that, whereas Martinelli just took advantage of the bad positioning. I feel like Salah moved the keeper, made the keeper get out of position on his. Anyway.
Is someone's car getting broken into?
I don't know where that is.
That's in Rio. I hate to tell you, but it's true.
It's not in the tree-lined streets of Columbia, Maryland?
Nah, man.
No.
Nah.
That defending was so bad.
Although what's terrible is that when I was a teenager, I was breaking into cars in Columbia, Maryland.
I've never broken into a car.
Yeah.
I've broken into a car that my parents needed me to break into.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
You know how you push the glass down, stick a hanger in, and grab.
Mm-hmm. So like their car, they needed you to get in their own car.
Okay. Well,
but that's not breaking in.
Because we didn't know if the Tuluk clan was like if the Tuluk family had a car stealing ring. We weren't sure what was going on there. This was just family business.
Somebody locked their keys in the car. You know.
Yeah.
But breaking into someone else's car, that's how you get into the Navy, huh?
Yeah, it was part of the downfall, part of the slow downfall. But it was also like stupid, like nothing ever. I don't even have any like good joyriding stories where you take a fancy car and go for a nice. We never did anything like that. It was nothing like. It was just stupid stuff that probably caused people like a good day or two of bad, bad times. As an adult now, I'm thinking back, I'm like, man, yeah, that would just be such a nuisance to have to deal with that.
Why did they have Pedro Neto on one of their center backs? I mean, Gabriel just dusted him so easily.
It must have been a mistake.
It's not a mistake.
An accident.
That Gabriel did that same move to Kyle Walker. How is Pedro Neto? How does he stand any chance?
That's what I'm saying. They must have it must have been an error. They couldn't plan that. So who's there for Arsenal today? Is I know.
Did you see what Declan Rice just did? Sorry, Jared.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jared.
I did. No, I saw it. Should he
No, he shouldn't get a yellow. This is my point. Is everybody does that? But if you're going by this stupid letter of the law BS,
be consistent.
So what was the difference between
that
what he
should've been
did and what was the difference between what he did?
I told you the referees are the cops, didn't I? Why wouldn't? Of course, a black man's gonna get
the black
caught
man
up
got
in some
the
shit
yellow
that the
card.
white man. I know,
but then
about
you
this already.
immediately blame Madueke, and I was blaming the system. I'm blaming the so-called cop.
I was having an inside
He said,
conversation.
"Nope, I'm not giving either one of them."
Oh my goodness.
No, I understand it's your player, so you feel like I understand where you're coming from, Daniel. I'm not. We're good. I'm just saying though that this is my annoyance with having this mandate.
I am more critical of my own players. I have to say.
We're gonna punish players for,
and I say that as if they're
delaying restarts.
I'm more critical of Chelsea players.
Well, that was nice. That was nice. Oh, that was nice. That was a nice effort. Who is that?
That's a fullback. It's Timber.
Damn. That was a nice run, though.
Is Cole Palmer gonna have to get on a milk carton here? Like, where is he?
I don't know. He's their darling, right? Yo, but what's up with speaking of darlings? Speaking of the white boy darlings.
Hey! Cole Palmer's not white.
He's no.
His middle name's Jermaine. Do you know any white Jermaines?
So you got a log in that woodpile somewhere? Is that what you saying?
Nah.
Okay.
His dad's mixed race. So.
His dad's mixed. Okay. Yeah. So we did see this. Who did send this to me? That Christian Pulisic, the American U.S. men's national team superstar, is a registered Republican and more than likely. Huh?
Does it surprise you?
You know who else
no,
lives in Jupiter,
I just
Florida?
like pointing it out. I just like pointing it out.
You know who else lives in Jupiter, Florida that I think was Republican? Tiger Woods.
Tiger Woods. That kind of makes sense.
What do you want to get into with that, Jared?
No, to me, it's just a reminder of, again, my visceral reaction to rooting against the U.S. men's national team, because I just, at the core of it, believe that the fan base, the players, the league is a right-wing Republican and happy to be it. And
Mudryk.
Looks like he just has gone. I can't even talk.
But he wears the number 10. He's your number 10. Why is he coming off the bench? And why aren't you happy to see that?
My man looks like he just got done filming a scene out of what is that? American History X. You seen
he
that
does,
movie?
Right? Yeah, I did see that movie.
It's mad.
I did see that movie.
He's just so bad. Although he scored a good goal against a club called Noah from Armenia on Thursday.
Oh, that's good.
Of what consequence is it?
Sorry, so that was it.
Pulisic.
No, that was it. That was it. That's the community I feel enjoys itself when they win and wants to further infect the already.
Play the ball. Jackson is in the.
The already disturbed sort of cesspool of European world football. Like that's what I. Now he's playing in Italy. That was the other thing I was thinking. So he's probably happy, loving it, feeling right at home in Italy.
Nobody made the right wing joke on the.
Somebody did that. No, Chitty Matcha, I think, did make that right wing joke on Twitter. I think that's where I got that. I think I should credit her for that. But that he's a right winger and then he's a perfect right winger, and you all picked up on it in the chat. That was,
I mean, not to be that guy, but he actually, some would say his best position is on the left wing. And actually,
Oba?
Oh, it
for
is.
the,
Oh, that's
for the
funny.
national team, for the national team, he mostly
Are you
runs
ready?
on the left side.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Watch it, Daniel.
Okay, Robert. So much for not saying things in advance, Robert. That went out the door real quick. As soon as Robert found
Are
it,
you ready?
as soon as he Robert discovered the
Yes,
chat, and was like,
now,
you know
like,
what?
thank you. But I don't know what I'm ready for. Like, if
But we
Pedro
get to see
Neto
some
just
build up
slips with
here.
the football, then it's bad.
No, that was nice. That was nice.
Is he Portuguese?
Oh,
Yeah,
He is.
that was nice.
He is.
that's a good goal.
He is.
That was a nice goal.
He is.
Okay.
He is. Let's go.
He did like 5 celebrations though, so calm down.
Why should he calm down?
It's 1-1.
Let's go get Daniel wants to win.
That's a big. That's
Stop
big.
doing these celebrations. Like, have you ever scored a goal on the PlayStation? They don't let you do multiple.
Bro.
No, they don't. They don't.
You do
Which
one.
is whack.
He did this.
PlayStation, man. Daniel, man, I'm actually Yo, let the players be themselves, bro.
I told you I didn't want to be here. Y'all recruited me, okay?
Celebrate.
I know how I am when I watch football, okay?
What do you want, man? Holy
That's
shit.
why he said. That's why he said. He can't watch in public. I'm not mad at that.
Somebody just said assist by Enzo the racist.
Yeah. Bro, Daniel, have you ever coached little kids, Daniel?
To be fair, I was a referee one time at like a youth camp.
Yeah.
Which is how I figured that it's just like being the police. But I've never had to coach, no.
So you were a terrible referee? Because refereeing kids is like the easiest
I let
thing
a
in the
lot of
world.
things go just because who cares?
Okay.
But
Who
You
cares?
sound like the celebration police out here. Don't celebrate.
It just annoys me when people don't they do like 9 different celebrations. Like, pick one, stick to it.
I did tell my daughter we did have rules. You can't. I told her you can't celebrate goals that. I said it at minimum has to be an equalizing or a go-ahead goal. If you're down multiple goals and score, the celebration has to be non-existent. Get the ball back, put it down, and let's keep it moving.
No,
that I did.
If it was 1-1 and he scored a winning goal in like the 89th minute, do whatever you want.
No,
But
but this would have been fine for me. It's an equalizing goal in a big game, late in the game. I don't mind. I don't mind that.
In the 60s. It's not.
Oh
late.
wow. Okay, all right. My bad. My bad. And I feel like you should be happier. Arsenal's no slouch. This isn't like they're playing.
Yeah. Do you expect to win here, my man?
Haven't I told you guys that? I've told you guys Chelsea don't have the capacity to make me happy. They only have the power to make me angry. I've said this on multiple occasions.
You have made that point before.
I'm sorry. Maybe I wasn't. Maybe I didn't actually. Maybe I didn't.
What
come
a
to grips
ball!
with that.
How did man?
Fandom is a monster.
Yeah.
Ever since 2014, 2015, when Chelsea fans were like, we're racist, that's the way we like it in Paris, and they didn't let the brother on the train. Like, I've slowly kind of released my Chelsea fanhoods. Like, this is a reduced version of what it once was. Type in Chelsea racist Paris, and you'll get all the information you need.
Oh my goodness.
So
Chelsea racist Paris. Hold on, Chelsea.
So we watched this with gotta watch for love of the game, not to be part of like some.
Look, you have to admit that everybody has got to be in a good mood because Manchester City has lost 4 straight.
I'm loving that. I admit, I'm with you on that.
As far as I'm concerned, that's proof that there is a God.
I'm with you on that.
You think?
I can't stand them motherfuckers.
So you think it's over?
Well, I don't know if it's over. You know what the news down here is? The news down here is that the Brazilian Federation is trying to contract Guardiola to be the national team coach.
Yeah, that's not That's been.
I don't want that.
They've wanted him for a while.
Please stop that, Robert. If you have any power, stop that from happening. I don't want to see Brazilian robots. That's like no. But
the term robots.
Based on everything that I've ever heard about how Brazil thinks about itself, Pep would be the perfect person that they would want to come and just all that African stuff y'all do. Cut the shit.
Pep is probably
boneless, skinless chicken breasts. No seasoned football, just disgusting. No spice.
Damn.
That's so hilarious. Oh, is he? Tell me he's onside. He's offsides. Damn.
He's offside by 5 years.
Yeah.
Like Mbappe levels offside. Good finish,
Mbappe, and Mbappe, man, he's several more bad games since. Even when Vinny scores a hat trick, Mbappe seemed to be disappeared the other day.
Oh my God, Jackson!
At least he scored.
Man City hatred is so hilarious to me. I love it, and Pep hatred. Pep is absolutely hilarious to me.
But you're gonna tell us why it's all misplaced?
No, you feel what you
and that
feel.
He's a genius.
He is a genius. I don't think that's debatable. But that's whether you want to see.
Mbappe was good yesterday. Like he wasn't bad.
You thought he was good yesterday?
He just didn't score or assist. But there's like a level of who scored analysis or transfer marked analysis where people only care whether a person scores or assists.
Mm.
And if that's the case, Mbappe has 10 goal contributions in 16 games in all comps. You know how many people would kill for 10 goal contributions in 16 games playing for Real Madrid? It's just Mbappe has.
Well, Lentz agrees with you, so therefore, yeah, you're right. Okay, my bad.
Lentz is right. Mbappe did not have a bad game yesterday. He just didn't put it in the net.
He just didn't score or assist, but
he was in the right place at the right time a lot of times.
And he can't win because then when he does score assists, people say, "Yeah, but his overall game is trash." So if you just want to hate, you can hate. But
I'm not. I believe me. I want him to do well. I want him to take that the so-called mantle.
No. Okay.
What are you reacting?
What happened?
Yeah, what?
Neto shot the ball ricocheted, I think, to Havertz, and Colwell went tight, and Colwell's already booked, so that could have maybe been a second yellow card. He's a reckless defender, but he's young, so
Pep can't win without Rodri. That's the narrative.
A long season, folks.
But I like. First of all, I like that I'm hearing that Mbappe, Vinny, and Bellingham are friends, like hanging out friends. If I heard that correctly, I like hearing that. I want Mbappe to do well. I want him to overcome all of the naysayers and to take Real Madrid to an even higher height, even though I'm not a Madrid fan. I am an Mbappe fan. And I want him to end up being seen as being better than Ronaldo and Messi. That's what I'm really trying. That's really what I'm.
That's not going to happen. That is not.
You said it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
No, it is. It is.
That's not going to happen.
You know why it's over? Ronaldo and Messi never said, I'm just going to play the important games for my national team. Don't call me none of this.
Oof.
Can't be doing that.
But but I heard he wanted to play this go around. They told him no.
Well, listen. And you know what Messi and Ronaldo never did either? I love Mbappe as much as the next person as well. But
they're not in the pocket of
you can't be
imperialist country.
You can't be. I'm just talking about football. And I hear you. The football side of it.
Hey,
the World Cup final was a legendary. That was one of the most entertaining football matches I've ever seen. Just on a purely
that
football,
was crazy.
The entertainment was just out of this world, and it followed all these scripts and all that. Y'all remember that Deschamps made a sub at before halftime of that game? I forget who he took out. I think he took out Giroud. He took out somebody else.
Dembele.
Yeah, he took out. You know why he had to make those subs? He had to make those subs because France was getting overrun, in part because a certain Kylian Mbappe was doing F-all when France didn't have the ball. Like there's video evidence. You can watch this. You don't want to take my word for it. My man was walking, right? And he's done this even for Real Madrid. So the criticism that he gets in part is because he feels extremely talented player when he gets the ball, can do so many amazing things, undoubtedly. But he feels sometimes that it is optional to defend or track back or even seem like he's going to work for the team. And you can't do that. People can hate on Messi and Ronaldo. They are before. Hold on, let me land. Last point. People can hate on Messi and Ronaldo, and there's this tribalism, whatever. But Messi and Ronaldo, especially at their prime, like there was no question in terms of their commitment to do things for the team. Like if they like, and at the age Mbappe is, because obviously, and people will say, "Oh, Messi walks a lot." Yeah, he earned the right to do that, and he was told explicitly, like at Barcelona, at one point, he was told, like, "Listen, save yourself. Like we want you to save yourself because we don't need you to be doing all these transitions. Save yourself for these moments." But still, in terms of work rate, Mbappe doesn't come close. So he's not going to be to hit those heights of what those two did.
It's still early. And remember, what I'm saying is, I don't disagree with you. I don't have any problem with any of that. I'm admitting this is, again, I am a product of my version of the colonial experience. So this is purely racial. I admit it. I see a potential black goat, and I want him to win.
The black goat already exists. Though.
Yeah, he's better.
I'm talking about no, but I'm saying, but we need so I don't know if that's sustainable going forward. The amount of discussion that I hear that of why Pele doesn't deserve to be considered better than Messi or Ronaldo it's too much at this point. So another generation or two, I don't know if that's sustainable. The messaging, the narrative that you all are, in part talking about, and some of the chatted references is too strong. But so that was in part my logic. I wanted another one. But and to your point, when we're watching the Liverpool game yesterday, the most exciting part of that game for me, and I made a point to tell my daughter this as we were watching, was that defensive run that Diaz makes against one of he came. I mean, it was like a 70-yard sprint to get back and catch the guy. When they needed him to track back, and I was like off the couch excited over that. Like I love when I see that. I have seen him do it once or twice, but to your point, I've seen those walking montage videos too. So I get it. I get it.
No, I hear you.
So I'm not mad. I'm just telling you what I had hoped was going to happen. That's why I want to see him doing, and if he's not even the best player on his team, that's going to work against my goals here.
Good work, Enzo.
I just wanted to say from jump, so you don't get your hopes up, Jared. But I hear where you're coming from. But can I
know, man. Yeah, go ahead.
You realize Mbappe's going to become a problem when he stops playing football, though, right?
Oh,
what kind of problem?
What kind of problem? Like whenever something happens in France, like they're calling, like Macron calls him up. So I can only imagine what that turns into when he has 100% time to dedicate to the government. What? What was that header?
I love it. My man went from astute political analysis to just, what was that header?
But I think you're probably right about that. Every time I see his name next to something political, it's starting to...
He's dressing up in suits and going to like Versailles or wherever they have their government set up. Like, it's just, it's bad news.
What I was going to say, though, too, on a purely football level, though, is that because I take your point, Jared, about Pele and the GOAT conversations and as time goes on. But I also got to say, Messi and Ronaldo, we have to take it, and especially now as they're both in their decline, both of them, one more so than the other, which is very evident as well. But like, what these two gave the footballing public is just remarkable. Like,
Yeah,
regardless
sure.
of who you like, oh, I look at it. It's not about like, oh, Ronaldo's better or Messi's better. No, to have 10 plus years, literally 10 plus years of that kind of not just production, but level of play, consistent performances. And there were some years, there were some weeks, right, where it was like they were watching each other. And
Absolutely, that's exactly what I was going to say.
And it was insane. And I think it was more so on one side who was more so watching, because I 100% Ronaldo watches Messi and tries to outdo him more so than the other side. But just regardless,
but he would be able to do it though. That's the thing. So even when people were mad at him for wanting to do it, it was like, but he still went out there and did it. He still would go out there and score 2 goals in meaningful games the week after Messi did something.
No, they're both aliens. I think they're like, and this is what I'm saying. I think the people like, so Mbappe coming up and watching them and being a Ronaldo fan, he said, "Oh, I'm a Ronaldo fan." All this. That's the thing is, he's an imitation. And I'm not saying that to say he's not amazing. Like, he's amazing, but Messi's not even an imitation, bro. Like, Messi's just a different, we'll never see it, bro. We'll never see it again.
No, that's not true.
Huh?
That's not true. We'll see it again.
You think we'll see it in our lifetimes, Robert? You think we'll see it again?
I think this new generation of kids that are coming up. I mean, I don't know if anybody's going to be a freak like Messi, but
you just said we'd see it again.
Well, I think we will. I think I think the percentages are decently.
Yeah.
Decently
you don't think
there.
that
I think
Messi
Latin America is still producing good talent.
Yeah.
So in the same way that someone like Pelé would have created an effect that created more of him, to where you get a Maradona, and then Maradona popularizes the game to where you then get Messi to develop. Perhaps Messi, little kids see that, and he's like a cause of more of himself. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm watching the game, so excuse me.
Lamine, I'm telling you, it's going to be Lamine. He's going to be my next hope.
Yeah, but with all due respect to everybody and what y'all are saying, though, I don't think when I say we won't see it again. I'm saying that I hope I'm wrong. I'm not saying that like, oh my God, the level is downhill from here. What I'm specifically saying with regards to Messi, because I've been clear on this and I will die on this hill. Messi's better than Ronaldo, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. But the other point is specifically with the Messi, what I think when I say we won't see it again, I'm looking at the consistency and the level over countless years, like to do what these guys have done. And so Mbappe kind of proves this in a way. Like, we've seen Mbappe and Vinny and Mbappe are actually who said that? What? Put that up again, Jared. What was that? Messi choked on the top stage? When? What are you talking about? Wow.
2014, you could say.
People just say whatever they want.
How did he choke?
He didn't win.
Higuain missing sitters is not Messi choking, though.
Yeah, I have no idea who. Yeah,
like, come on, y'all.
Copa America.
How did he choke at Copa America?
They lost to Chile like twice in a row. Offside anyway, even if they scored,
but
right?
How was that him choking? Like, I would need more information on that. How was that him choking?
Come on, man.
2012.
Well, that was a face save. That was a great face save.
Messi, and I know he very similar to Maradona in terms of how he played, but this is the point is like even Maradona, and for countless reasons I know, but Maradona wasn't able to sustain it, right? And I know it's different. It's kind of the eras are different. Lots of things are different, but this is
cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, all of it. Yeah, I get it. But again, to do what Messi did, and Messi's special in a way, right? Like I think there's a lot of evidence to suggest he might be on the spectrum. Like my man is different.
Crew Stoics. Is this stat real? Messi's goal creating actions per 90 minutes is 0.97, meaning he contributes approximately one action that creates a goal every game.
Nerd alert.
Nerd. But I'm not mad at that. If that's true, I like that stat. That's crazy.
Messi's out of this world. Messi's out of this world. It's not even
creating.
He's out of this
goal creating actions per 90 minutes, and it has an acronym. GCA 90. Come on, man.
That's too nerdy for you, Daniel.
Just say he scores a goal a game in his career. Like, that's good enough. Isn't it?
No, but this includes assists.
But that includes he creates the opportunities.
If people, you know how good Messi is. If people, Messi's so good. Go look at compilation of goals that he
You know, you
almost.
can't have a 2-hour conversation with football people without talking about how good Messi is or isn't. It's like not possible.
He's so good, man. Look at his. There are two compilations that he has that I don't know if another player has these compilations in the same way, right? The compilation of him where he almost scores, right? Where he's dribbling and his almost scored catalog is insane. And then the compilation of him against 3 or more players. Messi versus 3 or more players. Go look it up. YouTube compilations, 10-minute videos of him dribbling against 2-3 guys. And then it's not just the dribble, it's the pass after, it's the chance creation, it's the shot.
No, Messi is not better than Pele.
I disagree.
Make the run and Cuckoo. Look at the space.
You didn't see him.
Oh my god.
I disagree.
Oh, that was the comment from Keontae. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't see Pele play.
The best comp, you have to admit though, is R9. Sorry, it's not Messi comps. The best comp is that impossible technique, Ronaldo.
Impossible technique. What do you mean technique?
Have you seen Impossible Technique? Have you been on YouTube and typed in Impossible Technique R9?
Oh, you have to send.
That is the greatest compilation of skills you will ever watch. Just pure football, man.
You know what's
pure
funny
football.
is
that's
the people.
A horrible way of phrasing it.
The people whose names they put up names
stick.
And then.
It never sticks.
Go see what your favorite players have to say about Messi, and then come back to me about, Messi's not better than insert player.
There's this no dribble that he does.
Messi's never done nutmegs. What's the? I love R9.
Messi's never done that in a game, bro.
Done what? Done what in a game? Messi's never done what?
He cooked it. When I'm in a bad mood, I watch this video. So he's doing this to professional defenders, bro. I mean, that's PSV Ronaldo. Like when his knees hadn't blown up yet.
No, all these players are amazing. So we're splitting hairs. But to try to tell me that Messi's not the greatest because
this is distracting me from the actual game.
All right. Plus, I don't know how long we'll be allowed to do that before somebody.
That it does annoy me when you type Ronaldo in, you don't get R9, you get Cristiano Ronaldo. You actually have to type in like Ronaldo R9 in order to get him,
or the Brazilian Ronaldo or something like that. Yeah,
or Nazario.
All right.
No,
these corners, man.
You know.
Robert, to answer what you said about I never saw Pele. Obviously, I can't. I didn't see him. Obviously, I've seen videos and all that. My argument for that has always been consistent, which is the game is different now, so I don't judge. I take your point about listen. There are different eras, and Pele did things first, and Pele did this. I mean, Pele is incredible. I'm saying we've had this.
That was a clever way of not saying "but" though, Mutando.
Huh?
I'm just giving you credit. You said Pele's amazing. I'm just saying you didn't say
Look,
"but."
Let me put it to you this way.
Inferred in there, but go ahead.
Let me put it to you this way.
Well, have it. Okay,
there was no yellow card. The yellow card did not exist until 1970, and the reason they instituted the yellow card was because of how much hacking Pele had suffered.
Yeah, it's a different game.
Exactly. It was a much more violent game.
Okay. So now, let's
bad tackles.
Here's my question to you. Okay, I hear that. Different game.
Aside from the fact that Pele could do what Maradona did with both legs.
Okay. Well, that argument to me still doesn't mean he's better than Messi. But here's the thing: is what I'm saying to you is,
I don't give a fuck about what you just said. He ain't better than.
No, it doesn't. Because I'll prove it. How many players play? You don't have to be extremely dominant with both feet to be a masterful player. You never have. That's never been football. Doesn't work that way.
But to be the best,
we're talking about the best. Who is the best?
Messi.
Right.
Messi's the best.
Messi's the best. Like this is not. This is
That's
not
not a
this is not
debate.
difficult.
That's
This is not
the best.
difficult.
The best is not in debate. Greatest is where you can get into
Thank you.
all of the
The-
Oh, really?
nuanced
The
discussions
greatest?
about
so
time.
so Daniel,
There's a
you so,
difference between greatest and the best. What does that mean?
Yes,
well,
What?
the best footballer is Lionel Messi.
greatness is not best. Best is like best is how good you actually are. Greatness is more greatness is more about how good are you compared to others in your era.
so Messi is the
So-
better player than Pele for what reasons?
Sorry, say that again.
What makes him a better player? What did he do better?
He solves any. Messi displaces defenders better than any player that I've ever seen. So on the dribble, he'll beat 3-4. Then the pass he makes will beat another 2-3 consistently. And now
Can I
the
use
argument,
another sport? Can I use another sport to explain it?
Mutanda, you know what we need to do? You know what we need to do? We need to get you a Brazilian visa. Move your family to Latin America, where real football is played.
Oh my God!
And stay down here for a couple of decades, and then you'll go back a different human being.
Oh my God!
because I said Messi's. I think Messi's better than Pele.
No, I mean it's just, you just haven't got the you haven't got the vibe yet.
What vibe?
Trossard took it off Havertz's foot.
You're still dealing with that European vibe.
What are you talking about in terms of what? Messi's not European. Last time I checked.
No, I'm talking about the lens that you're using.
Which lens is that?
You got a European lens,
and that's why I said Messi and Argentinian is better than Pele.
I'm calling you a coon, bro.
I'm not calling you a coon. Daniel is provoking, man. Daniel is like.
You said he got a European lens.
I said
hard.
he's using
that's
the European lens to evaluate. It's a European lens to evaluate.
So here's. I just said to you that it's different eras. That Pele's remarkable, one of the GOATs, one of my amazing. I obviously didn't watch him, in his heyday. Seen video and all that, well versed in that. And I also said the game was different, which you agreed. Obviously, it's a different game. You seem to, because when we had the discussion earlier, you also seemed to deny. I remember you saying something. Well, I'll present it again here because I know you may not remember it. But when I said hey, sports science, tactics, there's a context to why what Messi's doing is remarkable and needs to be placed in terms of a pure footballing level on a higher level. And not saying that Pele couldn't do it if he lived in this time, but just saying when I'm evaluating the two in terms of what they've done, that's why I put Messi on a higher pedestal. Right?
In terms of what they've done, what do you mean in terms of what they've done? Statistically?
Not just statistically, but yeah, just the dominance that he had for that sustained period of time in an era where, so I'm talking about Messi now, and when I'm talking about the evolution of football tactics, the fact that the evolution of the players themselves, the sports science, because your point when you just said about the physicality that Pele had to deal with, 100%, I agree with you. Granted, that's remarkable and what he did there. But let's not act like Messi hasn't had to deal with physicality, right? Let's not act like Messi doesn't have entire teams set up, right, tactically designed, and in a way that they not like people didn't have tactics back then. It's just, but it's different. It's evolved defensively. The compact nature of the way teams are set up. Coaches like Jose Mourinho, right? Go look at what Jose Mourinho has to say about Messi. Mourinho's like, man, I've got this incredible setup. I've got this, and there's one player that I can't deal with. Messi's that guy. That whatever you throw at him.
Did he ever coach against Pele?
He'll find a solution. No, he didn't. But this is my point: my stance of saying Messi's better than Pele is not to say that Pele wasn't amazing. It's just to say that the game has evolved. It's really a game evolution, and that Messi's now playing in a situation where he's like, when I say he's a cheat code, he's literally like, yo, you take everything the game throws at you now in terms of the physicality of it. All these dudes are incredible athletes. Not that they weren't back then, but the way they look after themselves, the speed of the game, everything. The game has gotten faster, and you still have a guy who's 5'7", 150, who's running the show everywhere he goes, who also over 10 years, 11 years, however many years, scores as many goals as he has. It's insane.
I agree
Like
with you.
nobody
I
in
agree with
history
you.
has played the game.
But the kids do call this glazing, is it? Like you're going hard, bro. Like you're going over the
No,
top.
but that's well, I'm explaining it because my man. Because no, hold on. No, it's not glazing. It's what you have to do when people come at you with, "Oh, you're just using the European lens because you don't appreciate the Black Pearl Pele." No, I love the Black Pearl. Doesn't mean he's better than Messi. Like, what are we doing? We can have a football discussion about it instead of saying, "Hey, you need to go and come down to Brazil because you haven't seen real football." What? I haven't seen dribbles. I haven't seen I've played with more Brazilians, Robert, than you might know. Like, I get it. Hey, I get it. Pele's amazing. I get it. But like, how can you watch Messi and see what he does and be like, wow, that?
But so just methodologically, you would have to, like, the problem that I always have with this is that there's no way to I don't think there's a way to actually demonstrate this, because there's no way you would have been able to see as many games from as many angles with as much footage of Pele as you would Messi to generate even, I think, the data set to know if he did it, who did in fact displace players more than others. I don't know that you could even assess that. So I think, other than the barbershop style fun of the argument, I think it's really unfair. Not that you or any of us are doing it. I just think in general these arguments are unfair.
Okay. Well, let me give you.
I just don't know how you would do that.
Let me give you another example, though. Let me give you another example. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
I was going to respond to it. I was going to respond to what Jared said.
You're in the flow. You're in the flow.
But before you go, Daniel, I do want you to. I do want your concluding assessment of your team today before you leave. Just keep that in mind. I don't want you to rush out of here. I do want to hear that. So, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good now. I'm good now.
Oh,
so
okay.
I prefaced this. I agree that, listen, comparing different eras is inherently problematic, Jared. I agree. At the same time, there are metrics in which you can use to as evidence of what I'm saying about the game evolving, and then using that as an analysis. So, for example, in football, I'll give you an example of one rule change that has made the game extremely different, that impacts all players. The goalkeeping, the passing back to the goalkeeper, right? When that rule, before that rule change, go watch games, right? I a couple weeks ago, I just, for fun, because I'm a soccer nerd and it's my career, so I do it. I watched games from the 1990 World Cup in Italy, where you could still pass the ball to your keeper and they could pick it up. Why is this important? Why am I bringing it up? Because it changes the entire flow of the game, and it changes, for example, how the defending team presses the goalkeeper. Because if I know that you can just turn around and pass back to your keeper and they can pick it up and essentially reset play, there's no incentive for me to run my ass off. Now, an example of that is when that rule now is taken out and goalkeepers have to be really good with their feet, it means that their skill set has to improve. So, for example, just looking at the goalkeeper position, goalkeepers have gotten better. They have. They now have to be, and even the size of them, right? Not that they weren't big guys then, but like the size and what they can do. You look at a Thibaut Courtois, you look at a Ederson, for example, Ederson for Manchester City and for Brazil. If it were not for that rule change, would we see an Ederson, right? Who's now part of the reason he's at City is because of what he does with his feet. So now when you talk about Messi and Pele and you look at them as players, part of the reason, again, and that's why I'll never say, oh, Pele is not one of the GOATs or I'm never saying that. And I'm not saying also that like there isn't a conversation in which you could put Pele above Messi. I get that. What I'm saying, though, is when I look at it in terms of a purely football, what is the game and the context of the game demanding of these players? What Messi's been able to do in this current era of the game is unheard of. It's unseen. It's obscene what he's been able to do. Because again, nobody can say that the game's not physical now, right? And it's interesting. One of Robert's things is, remember Robert had this discussion about how he wants to see more. He wants to see like blue cards or introductions because like he says like the game's too like football art is gone. That was one of your arguments, Robert. Like, hey, there's no, it's football Forza now, right? It's too much. Like the artists aren't here. it's like you can't have it both ways. How is it football forze, but now Messi's been able to deal with that contact? Some of the fouls that he's
my point about football art and football forza is that, yeah, Messi is a freak. I'll be the first one to admit that he's a freak, and he's one of the best players that's ever played. But I will also say that based on the fact, to build on what you just said, the players, the average player is much better today than the average player 40 years ago. They're in better shape. They run more. They take care of themselves better, blah, blah, blah. Okay? I'm talking about the freaks of nature of the sport. The freaks of nature of the sport would benefit by rules changes. There have really been no major rules changes with respect to the violence of the game since 1970. Okay, that's the last time that they had, quote unquote, a violence response with the yellow card. So I don't know about the blue card. I'm not sure about that. I haven't thought about that one. My scheme, I've already said this, I'll repeat it. I think we should have a personal foul and a team foul regime for the sport. And with the accumulation of fouls, you get, free kick with a barrier, free kick with no barrier, who knows? But I think it's that kind of thing I think needs to happen. But without those changes, I do not think that the skill set that both, and again, you're going to disagree with me on this too. If I had a choice between Maradona and Messi, I would choose Maradona every time, without hesitation.
Why?
Every time. One, because he was, he had that Che tattoo, I mean, he had an attitude.
That's not a football reason, though.
I know. I'm just playing with you.
Yeah,
he had an attitude. He had an attitude.
Yeah.
In his game, he had an attitude, and that game allowed him. And obviously, he only won one World Cup, to the best of my recollection. He won '86. He didn't get taken for it. No, he played in '82, didn't win it. Played in '86, so he got to two World Cup finals. He got to the World Cup final in '90 and the World Cup final in '86. So he won one and lost one. Messi, to the best of my recollection, has won one and has been in one final that he lost. I think that's correct.
14 and 22.
I think he lost 14 and then he won in
22.
Qatar.
Yeah.
But there's no question about the quote unquote the respective talents. But there was something about, in my mind, there's something about Maradona's flair and style that captivates me in a way that Messi doesn't. When I see Messi reminds me of an incredibly well-structured robot.
God damn.
So I mean, and that's just me,
Hey, Robert, pull your mic away from your sweater just a little bit. I think
I'm sorry.
It's just rubbing. It's just I think that might help.
And that's the reason, if I had to choose between Messi and Ronaldo,
didn't help.
I'm talking about Cristiano Ronaldo. I'd probably choose Cristiano
because of aesthetics. What he made.
Well, I think it's with Cristiano. First of all, they play two different positions, so that's another thing. I mean, there's an argument that says that Messi, the position that Pelé played, which is something we call in English, it would be called the point of the lance. That's the position that Pelé played. That's down here. It's called Ponto de lance. So the point of the lance would be the position. It's like the head of the midfield at the point close to the goal. That's the position that Pelé played. There's an argument that says Messi plays, off wing, and sometimes obviously plays toward the center. But with Cristiano, you basically have, from my position, he basically, when you look at his career, his attacking is usually from left to right. Obviously, he does it from both sides. But I think the vast majority of his offense is left to right. It's like left wing to the center of the field. That's just my preference in terms of what he brings to the game. I think he would be my first choice. I just think he's a different kind of player. He's more flexible in terms of left and right foot. Obviously, Messi is a left-footed player, and Maradona is a left-footed player. And there are some great left-footed players like Garrincha. Garrincha was a left-footed player, and there was nothing you could do with him. And there's nothing you can do with either one of those dudes. I'm just talking about, who they played with and the heights that they brought the game to. I think what Pele did for the game and what Pele did statistically was more added value to the game than what Messi brought.
But he's not better.
Aside from the fact that he won 3 World Cups. And aside from the fact that he scored, 1,200 and something odd goals. So he's got 500 more goals than Messi. I mean, there are all kinds of, statistics out there about how to compare this stuff.
But he's not better, Robert.
Yeah, but I think Mutanda is saying that Messi is better than Pelé.
Because he is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But he's
that.
But like
that's like saying, oh, well, Michael Jordan is better than Kareem. Really? What does that mean?
Well, wait a minute.
Michael Jordan.
Wait a minute.
Michael Jordan is better than Kareem. Really?
Yes.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Okay. So would you make the argument?
What is Michael Jordan?
So let me answer. Okay, let me answer the question the way I was trying to get the question answered about Messi, Pele. Jordan versus Kareem. Jordan could play the 1, the 2, the 3, and sometimes the 4. Jordan orchestrated, created as many chances to score as he did score points himself.
Oh my God.
You're saying I'm saying he did that better than Kareem.
Their careers overlapped. Jordan and Kareem were in the NBA at the same time, so it's the analogy on its face doesn't work because their careers.
But no. But listen to what I'm. But Daniel, I'm not. Your point is well taken. I'm answering the question. I'm trying to give specifics in terms of what I'm asking when I'm saying, well, what makes Messi better than Pelé? What I'm trying to say is that these are things that as much as Kareem was a great center and a defensive threat, Jordan was a defensive player of the year and a constant threat on the defense as much as he did score. So these are the things I'm saying. So did Messi track back defensively better than Pelé? Did he really create space for other players better than Pelé? Was he better with both feet? Was he faster? Was he faster with the ball? Was he a better passer? Was he a better free kick taker? Was he better heading the ball? What makes him better? That's all I was trying to do in terms of answering the Jordan Kareem question.
I think that statement that Jared just made about the skill sets is for me the definitive measure. You're not going to tell me that Messi had a better skill set than Pelé. I'm sorry. Messi does not have a better skill set than Neymar.
There's a flaw in this argument, though. There's a flaw in that paradigm because that's not how football works.
What do you mean that's not how it works? We're comparing skill sets.
I'll give you an example. The people will compare Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi and they'll say, for example, oh, Ronaldo he's better with both feet, right? And they'll use that as like an evidence for that. See, that's what makes him a better player. And it's like, no, football doesn't work that way. Here's why. It doesn't matter if you just use one foot in football. And by the way, Messi doesn't just use one foot. So let's just get that. That's not true. But when people say like, oh, but Cristiano scores more goals with his non-dominant foot than Messi, therefore he's better. It's like, look, there are countless players, we can name them, in football who have been 1 foot dominant and have been legendary players, because it's not so much what
I'm not denying that.
Okay, but that just proves that proves that
No,
this
but
the whole thing about
just
skill set.
because you have had dominant players who have overwhelmingly relied on, let's say, a left foot, doesn't mean that they're
Well, right foot.
quote unquote better than Pelé. I mean,
I'm not. No, but
I
you're
mean,
not.
just think about the statistics. Just think about the statistics. Now, obviously, you don't want to do it on the basis of statistics because then you lose out. But you know,
I don't
no,
think so. But go ahead.
I mean, the number of goals. I don't know what Maradona's goal scoring is. It's probably in the 700 range, 750, 800. I'm not sure how many it is.
It can't be that.
But
no, I don't think it's anywhere near what Messi is. Obviously, we know that Pele's is great. I want to point out though that this is
aside from the fact that when Pele was playing, he was playing the best competition on the planet in Brazil. So that was when Brazil was the dominant force on the planet.
I know. In much of when you started talking initially, Robert, much of what you were saying, it's funny. You said I heard you also say that the average number. Did you correct me if I'm wrong? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
And Messi has more goals than Pele. Why are they counting this?
Yeah, I don't even.
No, that's official competition.
Yeah, this still doesn't mean
that's like not friendlies.
If you
look at those,
Robert, you had said.
Joe
correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. At one point, you said that the average.
Joe Bam. Who is this? Sorry, with Northern Irish. He played for Chelsea. I've never heard of him in my life. Born in 1905, died in 1980. Like, going by goal numbers is so dumb.
They don't even have Friedenreich on this thing.
Jimmy Jones? Who is
This
Jimmy
is crazy.
Jones?
They don't have Friedenreich on here.
What was going on in Northern Ireland? Wow.
This Wikipedia stuff is ridiculous. They don't have Friedenreich on this thing. It's absurd.
Did you or did you not say that the average player is better now than when Pele was playing? Do you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I think that's true.
Okay. If we use that as a jumping off point, and this is kind of how I answered your question, Jared, because this is how it answered, and this is how I generally feel about this. I'm going to try to sum this up as succinctly as I can. Forgive me because everybody's passionate about this. And
you should look at what Patel said here on the chat. Something you should pay attention to.
What is it?
Maradona won the World Cup in '86 with mediocre teammates. Messi could not do that. He needs good players around him.
With all due respect to Patel, that's a ridiculous statement. Messi it is. No, it's stupid. I'm sorry. Name me a team that Messi has played on in which he was not unquestionably the best player.
You should say with all due disrespect when you do.
It is, yeah. Name me a team Messi's played on where he was not the best player. Messi.
That's not what he's saying. I think what he's saying is that the team that was around him, the team that was around Maradona, was a quote unquote mediocre team.
You're a legend. No, that's not true either. That's not true. Do you want to Jared? Do you want to pull up the '86 Argentinian team? Pull it up. Because I want to. We want chat involvement. We want people.
Look, the '86 Argentinian team.
Let's look it up.
Was certainly not as good as the '78 team.
I don't. Yeah, but he said mediocre players. So let's look up. Jared, pull it up. Pull up the Argentinian team from 1986.
Oh wow.
Is this helpful?
Yeah. Do you see?
Pasarella was a world class. He's a bad dude.
I don't know any of these other names. Carlos Tapia is somewhat familiar to me.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's what's amazing.
Just look at the teams they play for. I'm seeing Real Madrid. I'm seeing Napoli. Well, Napoli's Maradona, obviously.
Boca Juniors, Nantes. So in Napoli, yeah, Maradona.
Inter.
I mean, they're not playing in MLS.
Well,
oh shit!
You don't want to go in that direction, do you?
Right? Like
you don't want to go in that direction. Like, I can't believe you mentioned MLS in this context.
No, because you seem to think I was just a little. That was an olive branch to you.
MLS, come on.
Listen, Messi. If you agree that the average player that Pelé played against is not as good as the average player that like Messi, like in terms of their different eras, that the average player has gone up. This proves this is exactly what I'm saying about. And to answer your question, Jared, I'm sorry if you think it wasn't answered. I would answer it this way. What Messi's to me, I'm speaking for myself. Messi, not a direct evolution, because yes, they're different players, obviously, for a lot of reasons. But Messi's doing in this era, right, with all of the challenges that contains, what a Pele did in his era, right?
Not true.
So how is it not true?
It's not true statistically, and it's not true in terms of trophies. I mean, you can't compare. I mean, look, let's be honest here, okay? The teams that Pele played with were freak teams. There is no question about that. Okay, he played with dream teams at the national team level. I mean, they went to 4 World Cups and won 3 in a span of 12 years.
I get it, but hold on. That's misleading, Robert. When it's misleading when you say that, because that's a time in which the World Cup it's very different. That's not saying like, because one thing that you don't account for this either is the number of games difference that Messi plays compared to Pele. But go ahead.
What do you mean per year?
Yeah. And that the world
Messi is not playing more games than Pele played per year. That I can tell you definitively. That's not happening.
How many games did Pele play in the highest number in the season when he played the most amount of games? How many games?
Wikipedia.
It must be some. I'm sure we could find that out. It must be somewhere around 80 or 90.
Go Pele's Wikipedia.
But go ahead. Sorry.
For what?
So,
I mean,
because I'm sure they have his statistics, unless it's a whole separate page. But
statistics for what?
I sent you a statistic the other day.
It should have his
about
games played and goals.
The number of games scored, number of goals scored before each player was 21 years old. I mean, Pele's, I don't know whether it's 2 or 3 times more than Messi. Come on.
But Messi's doing Pele in his era.
I would pull it up, but my 2014 MacBook.
Pele in his era was remarkable, and it was a different era of football.
Yeah, that's true.
Messi in this era appearances. So how many? Yeah, go ahead. Look at it.
Can you go back up to the top where it goes season by season, and then scroll all the way if you can? I guess it's there. So is that total apps?
Yeah.
38, 46, what? 43, 33, 38, 37, 36, 31, 46, 19.
I'm still waiting for it. Huh?
What's the APF? What's apps mean?
Appearances, right?
Appearances? No, it couldn't be appearances.
Oh, it couldn't be, right? It doesn't.
Oh, that's just for the Rio São Paulo tournament.
No, where it says domestic
competitions. And then internet, I don't understand.
It's how are the column where your cursor is like now. Like that's the total appearances.
Mm-hmm. And look at that. Is
46 goals
the highest
31
number?
Games? 41 and 31 is.
No, but look at the appearances. We're talking. That is insane. Look at the appearances.
66 goals and 46 appearances. Ah.
That's crazy.
No, it's
62 and 38.
62 and 38.
Yeah.
He was going nuts.
But I will, and again, I didn't now.
So how many is Messi playing in a year?
A lot
40 to 50 something.
Well, his league plays 40, I think.
Bro,
the La Liga I think has 40 games
and 659. That's.
No, it's insane what he did. But it's insane. It's insane. Look up what was Messi's 2012 season. Look up that. Now.
Can you scroll back down to the international appearances? Because that's just club football, but that doesn't take into account how many games was he playing for Brazil on a yearly basis. I could imagine it's more than a few.
His highest is 15 in 1970.
So around 7 or 8, you could say, on average.
Yeah, but these are all official national team games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I
That's
don't
not-
think
these are
that
not- these-
included
this
the
does not
friendly
inc-
games.
This does not include friendlies.
But I don't think they should. I don't think
They
friendlies
shouldn't include
should.
those.
They shouldn't include. Yeah, friendlies shouldn't
ridiculous.
count.
But the friendlies that Santos were playing at the time were like they were going and they were playing AC Milan, Inter Milan,
Exactly.
Barcelona, Real Madrid, Chelsea. Like they were going on world tours playing the best teams in the countries that they were
Okay,
in.
but what was happening again? I'm a Pele. I'm rooting for Pele. I'm just trying to, but I want to check this.
Yeah.
So when he goes and travels to play Real Madrid, are they playing their best team at their
Absolutely.
best effort?
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
Okay.
not like the preseason friendlies that we get now. Those were actual. It's the Brazilian best against Italy, against Portugal, against whoever it is. Like, was it
Benfica.
No, that was an official competition where Santos.
Well, I would
played
like to know how he
Benfica,
did there.
and they
I
destroyed
don't,
them.
but I don't.
I forget the year. Where,
Yeah,
where
I still don't know.
I think that was like in 61, 62, something
61.
like that.
That's like Pele at his peak.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah.
it's not about wear and tear in the body. I get that. What I'm saying is well, I don't know to what extent I think that
the
should
point
count
would be like
towards you.
if Santos were making more money playing friendlies around the world, then Pele's best football would probably be in those friendlies that don't count. It's why when he says I scored 1,000.
But I'm asking right.
Yeah.
But I'm asking about the competition.
Yeah, the
No, no,
competition.
If they're not trying to win in the same way that he is,
They are. They were. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Really? You can say
Yeah.
that for sure.
Absolutely. Well, they were going to AC
It's
Milan. They were
binary,
playing
for sure.
these back in those days. I hate to say it, but it's true. People played for pride. They didn't play for money.
it's not just about money. It's although I mean I also get it. I mean I get it. I've even been just down the street here, and people and it gets very serious very quick. So I get it. As soon as you step out there, people take it seriously, even if there's nobody watching.
But
Okay,
especially
But I
a
just wanna-
predominantly black team from South America going to Europe. There is no way that those European clubs, AC Milan,
But that's why I just needed to ask because I don't know.
Benfica. There's no way they would want to lose to a black team from South America.
Right on. All right. So that another reason to support Pele for me. It's all works for me. I just wanted to check my method.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
so I was
Daniel.
asked the difference between being best and being great, right? So
Yeah.
I'll try to use a different sport. So Wilt Chamberlain and Joel Embiid play in totally different eras, right? Now, the skill set that it takes to be a center in the NBA now is different than it was in the 1960s and 70s. So you would look at Joel Embiid's game and what he's able to do with the ball, even someone like Jokic and what he's able to do with the ball, how he sees the floor and all those different types of things, shot blocking, etc. His game, just based on the evolution of how basketball has grown in the last 50 years, is objectively better than Wilt Chamberlain.
Who?
But
Embiid?
But
Embiid?
let me land. You would not make the case though that because their game is better, that they are greater than what Wilt Chamberlain was able to do and how he utterly dominated, scoring 50 points in a season, 25 rebounds, 100 points a game. Like Wilt Chamberlain, relative to his competition, outclassed all the centers that exist today.
Look, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something that's going to piss you off. Okay.
Go for it.
If Wilt Chamberlain was playing today, he would still be scoring 25, 30 points a game. And if he wanted 50, he'd get it.
No, he wouldn't.
He'd get it. And as for Embiid ain't as good as Olajuwon. And he's a generation beyond Olajuwon. Olajuwon was much better than Embiid. I mean, you can't even compare Olajuwon to Embiid.
Could Wilt Chamberlain shoot threes?
No, but they didn't have threes back then. They didn't have 3 points back then.
This Doctor Who transports someone in time to some other place. Like if you just drop Wilt Chamberlain into this league,
how many
he didn't even
3-point
play with a
shot?
3-point line.
How many 3-point shots did Shaq hit in his entire career? How many 3-point shots did Jabbar hit in his entire career?
The point is the game has
2.
changed. The point is the game is changing. So when you're judging players from their eras, the only thing you can do is judge them relative to the competition that they played in their era. And when you do that, Wilt Chamberlain is obviously greater relative to his competition than an Embiid, than a Jokic. Pele, I would make the argument, is greater against his competition in the 1950s and 60s than Messi is now. But when you just judge the nuts and bolts of what they can do with the ball and all of their skill sets, I would say that Messi is objectively better. In the same way, I would say LeBron James is the best basketball player that's ever existed. But I would never, ever make the argument that he's greater than Michael Jordan. Like, I wouldn't do that.
Because he's not better than him.
No, he is.
He's not better or greater. He's not better or that's ridiculous.
His passing, defensive ability.
He is
size.
not a better defender or passer than Jordan. You really got to stop that. You really got to stop that. He's not
a better passer. You don't think LeBron James is a better passer than Michael Jordan?
I don't.
LeBron
I don't.
James
He prefers to pass because he's not as good a scorer either. You would have to leave. You would have to leave.
LeBron James.
He wants to pass because he's not. He is not. He wants to pass because he cannot do what Jordan did offensively. He also, to your point, Robert, about Maradona, did not have the mentality. Daniel literally left the entire stream.
Yeah, he might. Yeah.
Listen, hey, we can wrap on that. He can stay gone. Daniel, don't come back. Don't come back because you feel like you can stay. Like you can stay.
No, he's coming.
I had to close my laptop lid. It's errant nonsense.
Listen,
but
this is why this is not even just an.
We can have the argument. We can have the argument. Jordan is a better defender. We can have the argument. Jordan is a better scorer. We can have the argument that Jordan is a better everything except passing. Please, let's not do that.
I'm not giving you that. I said what I said. I said what I said.
I understand you're saying what you're saying is wrong, but you can say whatever you want.
But again, so back to my earlier argument, there's zero chance. Actually, I shouldn't say that. There is something greater than zero chance that you've seen Jordan play as many games as I've seen LeBron. This is sort of the problem that happens with all of this. We're not seeing all of this in context. I feel like I've seen LeBron games play more than you've seen Jordan. So, and when you, and I just feel like watching it in real time, it's just so much clearer than even the numbers show. And the numbers are themselves demonstrating that LeBron still can't catch him. He could just stack all these.
Do you think Jordan was a better passer than Magic?
Good question.
No.
That you have to think about it disqualifies you. Look at him. He's thinking. He's like, yeah, maybe. No.
What I had to think was, what I was thinking was, what is he going to do when I say yeah?
Just laugh at you, but you know.
Go ahead. I said what I said.
Maybe this is my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't look because if I hadn't, I thought I was going to be a quick discussion, but I forgot how much. I mean, we stay in our tribal lanes, which I get it. Because Jared's not going to budge off of this.
I'm not, because I saw all the games. I saw it.
No, I hear you. I'm not.
I'm with Jared. I mean, I saw both of them play a lot of games. And it's very difficult to make the case that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan. It's just difficult to do.
Waiting for my Panama gear now.
It's just difficult to do. I mean, shit,
I don't. All right.
I mean, we're talking individual player. We're not talking about how they impact the team.
Do you know why it's difficult though? But Daniel made a very good point that I want to echo, and I want to just and I know because I don't know, Jared, your time is like, because we could have this. We talked about a lot of stuff.
I was supposed to have had to go.
Yeah, I know. But this is fascinating. But the thing is, for y'all, look, it is difficult to compare again in different eras. And I know I've acknowledged that. Daniel's acknowledged that. Like, we've all acknowledged that. But what's interesting, though, he made the point about Yeah,
Dr. Ball don't know ball.
there's a difference.
That could be the name of the show.
Yeah, it could be. The
Ball don't know ball. That's messed up.
No. Just don't know ball.
The
But-
difficulty
Yeah.
is in having
No, it doesn't work. It
an
doesn't work.
objective analysis of what people's, not even just skill set, but just what people's abilities are is the challenge here. And I feel like the only way to do it, at least the way that I've tried to do it, is you have to look at the context of the game. And this is my only the argument I'm making, and what I'm apologizing for is it shouldn't be so flat out simple like, okay, Messi's better than Pele. It's more like they both sit on the same throne, in my opinion, like in the same pantheon of like greats of the game. I guess the point, and again, back to Jared's question, which is a good one, what makes Messi better than Pele? The answer to that question is the context of the football and where the football is and how it's evolved. So it doesn't mean Pele is not remarkable. It doesn't mean Pele didn't do amazing things. It just means if I'm looking at the way football's played today and the differences, and this is what I mean, is there are objective differences. And even Robert, you admitted that. If you tell me, right, if we're both jumping off of the same point of average player today better than the average player when Pele played, if we both agree on that, it should tell you that to do what Messi
They're
or
not
even
hearing you,
Ronaldo or any number of players to do what they've done in this era should be put at least on a it should be accounted for. It should be like, yo, that's remarkable. You know, that's my point. And so to say, and then the counter argument to that, to say Pele's better, shouldn't be, oh, but his skill set's better. No, they both Messi can chat to it. No, Messi's skill set, because then you get into the realm of talking about aesthetics. Because I'll be real with you, in terms of aesthetically, my favorite player, the player who I think has done things that really no player has ever done, including Pele, is Ronaldinho. Thank you. Ronaldinho did things on a field that how does he do that? But Ronaldinho's not a better player than Messi, right? And both of those can be true because I'm not looking at it from an aesthetic lens. I'm looking at it from not just even a football production, but yeah, like this dude he's different, right? So we have to be really intentional about.
Let me qualify what I'm saying about Messi. Okay, if I had to put a team together, an all-time, all history, top 11 team, I would put Maradona ahead of Messi. Okay. My second team, I would have Maradona.
There go that
on.
car that just got stolen.
Right. I would have Maradona on my second team. All world, all time. I just wouldn't have him ahead of Maradona. That's all.
No, Messi would be on your second team, just not ahead of Maradona. Okay, that's
just
what
not
I was
ahead of
say.
Maradona.
Okay.
That's fine, but I gotta hold on, Jared. I'm just looking at the chat. Can you?
So we're talking about greats.
That's
in
fine.
In terms of the entire species, the entire history of the species.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, put up.
There's no doubt about the fact that Messi is great. No doubt.
Jared, put up. Can you highlight? I think Lentz's comments here. I want to highlight this. I want to respond to this. All right. Thank you.
We got to stop acting like this ain't about aesthetic preferences. Masking objectivity is reason. Eurocentric thinking, by the way. Thank you for that lesson, Marimba Ani.
Oh man, that reason parenthetical Eurocentric thinking, man, is like that's a heavy.
Yeah, but I disagree. Like
that's a heavy critique.
It is, and beautiful. That's why I think I want to highlight it. Thinking objectively is not. Why is that European? Right? Why is that?
Because it is. There's no question about that.
Hey, Robert.
From a philosophical standpoint, there's no question. You don't have to go all the way back to Plato or the pre-Socratics and trace it all the way through Augustine and Kant and everybody else to know that that's true.
So
yeah, I don't think the idea of being objective, I don't think is European.
Yeah, really?
And I'm not even sure.
Really?
I don't even know if that's what.
Really?
What do you? I don't think that's what Lentz is saying. First of all, I don't think that's what Lentz is. What Lentz is saying.
The objectivity of Euro thinking. So in other words, I think what Lenz is saying here, and he'll correct this if I'm wrong, that there is a broader and deeper lens to look at reality through besides reason. That's my interpretation of what he's saying.
No, I get, and I understand what Marimba Ani was saying about the European approach to reason. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the idea of developing an objective analysis based on science is European. I don't think that's what Ani was saying. I don't think that's what Lens means to say, but I could be wrong. And
forgive me if I
but yeah,
so
go ahead.
Africans weren't being objective before Greece was an idea.
So this is my point.
That's my point.
When we apply this logic,
and I've read Urugu, but I mean, I admit it's been a long time. But I've read and listened to Mama Marimba many times. I just don't. I don't think that. But I don't think that she was saying the idea of being objective is Eurocentric. She was saying that Europeans sought to replace Eurocentricity with the notion of objectivity to center their own worldview. But okay, go ahead.
So when you apply it to football, here's what I constantly push back on this. I deeply believe in this. Not everything, of course, there's subjectivity in everything. I get that, but then there's some things that are objective. When Robert, you're telling me, you create your World 11 and you're going to put Maradona or Pele ahead of certain players. That's fine. I can't argue with you on that. But you base that, if you say that and you have a subjective analysis for why. For example, when you mention Maradona had a Che tattoo, that has nothing to do with football.
I was just playing with you.
Well, okay, but there are other things that you've said where you say I would put this player ahead because of your preference. I hear you. What I'm talking about is there's a deeper analysis that beyond a preference, an aesthetic preference, for what makes a player better than another player. And this is what I'm saying is we should be able to have a conversation. And it's difficult. I get it, because we're talking about greats and we're talking about different eras. But if we look at the game, the objectivity that I'm seeking, or that I think is there, is you go to the game. How is the game played? What's happening in the game? And yes, there's subjectivity involved there, but there are certain objective things, right? So, for example, looking at Messi in this era, with all of the things that are happening now, looking at Pele in his era, looking at the context in which he was playing, we can come to some sort of conclusion about their degree of prowess or their abilities, right, relative to the era they played,
relative to their competition, and would you agree that Pele is better than his level of competition than Messi is to his? Yeah,
sure, I can't. Yeah, sure, yeah, absolutely. Like what he did in that time. But then I would also say though is that when that's why it's important then to not just counter that, but to context it in if the tide as a whole has risen, which it has, right? The skill sets, people get better. Even when you consider, for example, just world football, right? Look at the powers. This is why I constantly push back against English people who want to champion 1966. And you have to politely, or not so politely, remind them, hey, there were like 6 serious footballing nations in 1966. Relax yourself. If you win a World Cup now, with the advance in the spread of the game and all of that, there are a lot of good players. It's hard to be good now, right? Not like it wasn't hard to be good when Pele was playing, but it's different, right? Different. And that's what I'm saying, my context for saying I personally put Messi above because of the where the game is at and what he's done relative to that over an extended period of time. And in that conversation, he is just as good, in my opinion, or if not better, in my opinion, than a Pele.
But he's not greater.
Greater if you want to throw in all of the other stuff, then yeah, I'm not making that argument. I'm talking about the football player. I'm talking about when he.
You know what Pele had to beat Mutanda? Racism.
No, absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Okay, that makes him greater. Not that players aren't fighting racism now, so let's not make that mistake. But it was the 1950s.
Messi didn't have to. It's his team that's producing most of it. Damn Argentinians. How dare they parade around? No, I'm not playing. But the team, I mean, yeah, so Listen, fellas, I do have to go, man. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We could absolutely
we
pick
could
this
go
up.
on. We could go on.
Yeah, next time.
Until
But
next
unfortunately,
The only
I
thing I've
gotta
taken
get
from this is
busy.
Dr. Ball thinks that Michael Jordan was a better passer than Magic, which I think you're gonna.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said he's a better passer than LeBron, and that Magic is a better passer than Michael. I said that.
That's not what the tape says, but
well, that's what I meant to be saying. So
okay.
I just want to be clear on that. I'm saying Magic and Michael are better passers than LeBron, and Magic is a better passer than Michael. I'll give him that.
Okay.
But I think both of them suffer because neither one of them had to be the offensive or defensive option that Michael had to be. So that's really what I'm saying.
I feel slightly gaslit there, but I'm gonna let it slide.
I appreciate you, fellas. This has been a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again. And thanks everybody who showed up here live. Hit that like button and do all the things on your way out.
Give us that Fred Hampton closing, bro.
Peace if you're willing to fight for it, like Fred Hampton used to say. And we'll catch you next time for another edition of
I mix what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like, what I like.